crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse runs. Foogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news.
What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show somewhere. Tonight we're going to be talking about all of the events going on all over the world, including Atlas and the whole rest of it. So stick around. We'll be right back right after this.
Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. Marfoogle news. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. From something outside of my window.
Remember, guys, you guys can support by going to NordVPN. In fact, everyone should be protected, especially now since people are spending 24 hours a day on their computers. So make sure to go and use our code Marfoogle at marfooglenews.com/VPN. All right, now, without further ado, let's get started. What is up, guys? If you've never been here before, my name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We're going to be talking about all of the different events. In fact, we gave you kind of a preview. We've added a couple stories because obviously there was some breaking news. When I went live earlier on our other sister channel, Marfoogle News, which is at 154,000 subscribers, we talked about some of the stories that we would be talking about right now, including some about Mr. T-Man. Now, T-Man actually did a conference talking about the three-phase plan to reopen, so there is some good news there as far as what he's saying, and you know, as far as I think Michigan kind of triggered a couple things. I bet you they kind of know that everybody's on edge right now. So we'll talk about that. We're going to introduce Dex here in a second. If you've never been here before, you can actually follow along with us on our website, marfooglenews.com, and you can actually go there. And when you go there, it's organized by thumbnail. So when you see this thumbnail, regardless of title, we might have to change it at some point. You can actually click on it and it will have every tweet, every video, every last story that we have here is archived, and we have a bibliography of what source we used. So you're not just getting strange news or somebody saying, oh, somebody said this on the internet. You'll be able to look at it, inspect it, and see where it came from. Not only that, you can actually reference that and then go to other sources and see if they match up. That's an important thing to do. Because right now everyone is looking to the internet to what they are believing. And again, you know, they're fighting against disinformation at the same time as a lot of people are putting out information that they believe is 100% true when none of us really know what's going on. In fact, I think that if you had Q clearance, you might still be out of the loop on this one, because I believe this is even above that. This is like the five families running the planet craziness. So again, you'll be able to go there. You'll be able to see all of the articles, all of the tweets, everything that we have there. So without further ado, let me introduce Dex. Dex is going to be screening your calls at 224400 Marf. We'll be opening up the phones there. You want to get in early. Make sure to press option 4 once you get to our phone tree. Dex, are you there and can you hear us?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
All right, sounds good. Now, obviously, you saw his plan. Can you kind of sum that up?
Well, yeah, certainly. You know, he's got a plan, and I guess really ultimately it comes down to the states, right? Individual states are the ones that are going to be responsible for making the decisions on how they're going to roll, when they're going to roll. But he basically put out a guideline, you know, a 3-point plan, and we can go through, you know, some of the details in one of the articles we have specifically about it. But it's basically, you know, steps towards getting completely open, where we start maybe with schools are still closed if you're in phase 1, and you've got, you know, the ability for your healthy people to go to work, but make sure that they're still socially distancing. Make sure the people that are unhealthy or have underlying conditions avoid going out and things like that. And then as, you know, certain milestones are met or certain conditions seem to get better in those individual states, they can move on to phase 2. And this approach, in my opinion, by doing it this way, state by state, it makes it easier for us to react, right? If we see something is going wrong, we can stop, we can react quickly, as opposed to if you just did some sort of blanket statement and said, okay, we're all open for business, everybody back in, then we have to sort of unwind what's been done. So,
well, and you put out something on Twitter, which is essentially was a survey. So again, you should follow both of us over on Twitter, at DexJ and then at Marfoogle. But that was essentially, he did a survey saying, what would you do to go back to work? Would you take, one of these in the arm? Would you do this? Would you do that? We might actually pull that up later. I think people are being surprised by how far they are going on this. And there's a lot of us that are not surprised to see some of these things being suggested as far as getting some sort of shot before going back to work, this kind of thing. So we'll talk about that on a D-Live only show, which is going to be coming up. We might actually do it tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a D-Live only show, will be unfiltered. So again, for the other people that say, oh, well, why do you filter yourself and this and that? I've explained it very clearly many times. We want to reach as many people as possible. And if you don't filter yourself, you won't be recommended and you will not reach the masses. People think it's about money when you are a channel like ours. If you're any channel that talks about politics, unless you are one of their approved sources, you get the yellow symbol at all times. Also, you get a lower CPM than other people. If you want to look into that, you can feel free to do so. But again, it's not about that. It's about reaching new people. And we have done very well. We've grown throughout all of the censorship kind of things. And it's slow, but it's a grind, and every new person in here is possibly a life saved, and I really do look at it like that. So we talked about this earlier. Russia just tested a satellite killer. Again, this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. This is, a lot of people questioned why T-Man had the Space Force. Why are we sending these, why are we opening up a new branch of the military? When you come down to it, when you really look at it, what is the military for? Essentially for defense. It's also for offense. It is for fighting. It is for a physical. It is physically hurting people, right? When it comes down to it, that's what it's for. And the Space Force, if you think about it, just like every other military branch, would this be the only military branch that does not take lives by doing something? Probably not. So that tells you, what is really going on up there. Do they have spaceships going back and forth? Do our allies and do our enemies actually have spaceships doing things outside of where, the planes are and all that? And it makes you really, really wonder what is actually going on. But again, I'll just read this real quick. It says the test of the PL-19 Noodle, is it really called the Noodle? A so-called direct ascent anti-satellite weapon highlights Russia's expanding space arsenal, according to General John Raymond, Space Command Commander. Russia's DAASat, or DSAT, test provides yet another example of the threats to the U.S. and allied space systems are real, serious, and growing. So imagine this. Knocking out our satellites would be a gigantic deal. This would be something that would completely screw all of us. I don't think people realize how much we are dependent on GPS, dependent on all of these system workings. GPS, mind you, Dex, would you not say that GPS is now the root of technology that we actually have running kind of our infrastructure?
Well, yeah, everything from your phones to every mobile device to every, vehicle that's digitally connected. They're all using GPS, whether it's in flight, on ground, wherever you are.
So having these kind of satellite killing things up there, is obviously, I mean, I would have thought that they would have these things. They probably have had them for 10, 15, 20 years. Who knows? I don't know. I know that they have much more advanced stuff than this. But again, this is public. So why is it public? That is, I guess, my question. If they're telling us publicly, what does that mean? It says observers expected the April 2020 observers expected the April 2020 trial. It was just the latest in a series of tests by the PL-19. Russia launched last month, or last, sorry, guys, gosh. Just had to get that out. Russia last launched a noodle rocket back in December 2018. Yes, a noodle rocket. Direct descent weapons arguably are the least sophisticated. By the words, direct descent means it just goes straight up and hits something, I'm assuming. It says that they are the least sophisticated anti-satellite weapons, essentially just medium-weight rockets like the kind space agencies use to boost small payloads into low Earth orbit. Assets, oh yeah, you got the assets, are cheap to develop and easy to use, but can only threaten low-flying spacecraft. So, I guess, how many low-flying spacecraft do we have? And what are these targeting? Well, a lot of those are the GPS things, I'm assuming. So, and the new systems that they're putting up, and the new Wi-Fi things that they're putting up there, and the balloons. Apparently, they can do that too. So, what do you guys think? Give us a call at 2244-00-MARF. Now, it says a perfect storm, extreme groups look for ways to exploit CV pandemic. And now, by this, I mean, and I'll actually show you down here. Sorry about that. For months, authorities say 36-year-old white supremacist Timothy Wilson amassed bomb-making supplies and talked about attacking a GOG or a majority black elementary school. Then the CV hit in the United States, giving Wilson a new target and a deadline. The FBI says that Wilson planned to boom up a Missouri hospital with CV-19 patients inside. And he wanted to do it before Kansas City's stay-at-home order took effect at midnight on March 24th. It says that, quote, Wilson considered various targets and ultimately settled on an area in the hospital in an attempt to harm many people, targeting a facility that is providing critical medical care in today's environment, the FBI said in a statement. The attack never happened, though. It says Wilson died in a bang out on March 24th when federal agents moved in to arrest him after a 6-month investigation. It was an extraordinarily domestic T case. So get this though. So that means they were listening to him, they were tracking him, they were watching his every move, which, by the way, if you guys didn't know this, even if you look up things on the internet, that's again why people do Nord and things like that, is to put themselves somewhere else, and it's harder to do this kind of stuff. Now, of course, the government has the ability to do it no matter what. That's kind of my opinion on this, but this gentleman was being watched for a very long time. He was being watched for 6 months, and the night he planned it, which was the night before the stay at home, they took him out. The thing is when I covered, I think it was 2019 or 2018, late 2018, NSA said that they were deleting all these phone calls that they said that they shouldn't have had, right? I don't know if you guys remember that story. You can go back and look at the video. They deleted something like 600 million phone records, this and that. A lot of people were talking like they stopped surveilling. No, all I said, and this is, I guarantee you, true, they have now more advanced techniques to do it. They don't even have to do that. They can literally go back and check all of your records, all of your phone texts, everything. And they're probably doing it to each and every one of us. If you've ever looked up survival gear or looked up, survival food or prep stuff, It doesn't matter who you are now. Pretty much everybody's done that at this point. They're probably got you on some sort of list. But it doesn't, the thing is they don't even have to track you for that. They can have a computer essentially look for markers, and they've broadened that marker. In fact, all of the words, in fact, we covered it. They have this huge, huge list of words that they will essentially track you for. I mean, you're talking about all of the filtered words I talk about on this show, though, the ones that I try to avoid, those are the ones on that list. There's a reason why we do everything we do. We have military in this group. We know what we're doing. I mean, not always. I'm not perfect. I'm saying we know kind of what gets you there. So there's certain things that you can look up, and we've covered all of this. Anybody who's watched this kind of religiously knows we've gone over these things every day, and you can look back and connect the dots. So as far as this guy, this guy's some sort of nut, but they don't really say much about this kind of stuff. You know, it says, I don't even think it said his name. Okay, it did. It says Wilson. I would love to hear from anybody who was a neighbor from him, a neighbor to him. You know, let us know what he was like. If you lived by this guy, or if you're in the same city, or if you ever met him, give us a call at 224-400-MARV. It's crazy that they knew for 6 months that he was going to do that. Or did they look back progressively? Did somebody kind of say something about it? It's very weird. But I guess the main point is more groups are going to pop up, right? More groups are going to be in the news. More people like this are going to do things. They even gave us a warning. DHS said it's going to happen. And I'm not saying that when it says that, essentially I would get your Fantastic Freddy glasses out and be looking at everything with a magnifying glass, if you guys know what I mean. And then, of course, exclusive, as Washington, D.C. faces CV spike, secret military task force prepares to secure the Capitol. Or at least that's what this says. I got to use the dang arrows. I don't know why it's been doing this. District of Columbia Muriel Bowser yesterday ordered a 1-month extension of the state of emergency. As cases in the region grow at a rapid pace, federal officials in the nation's capital expect a New York-like epidemic in the district. Maryland and Virginia, one that could potentially cripple the government. It says, quote, no one wants to talk evacuation, especially when there's nowhere to go, says a senior military officer working on continuity of government planning. He requested anonymity because he is not authorized to speak on the record. Think about all these guys that come forward and talk, and they say on the premise of anonymity. One thing I would say from the other side, if I was running a government, you got a lot of loose lips. They say stuff, but then they say, well, I don't want to put my name on the record. Some would say that's, being a hero or this or that. But some would look at that from the other side and say, these people talk a lot. Almost every article every day, you've got somebody high up that is speaking, which also, if you look back into history, is that on purpose? Do they know that this person is anonymously telling somebody something? Can they feed stuff out on purpose to guide you in a direction subconsciously? Because now we think, oh, this is what's going on, but it's anonymous, so we don't know for sure. So it puts the idea in the back of your head. You don't think about it 3 months later. You're like, oh, yeah, that totally makes sense. Just saying. It says, but a little-known military task force charged with evacuating Washington has already been activated. Okay, do you guys realize what's going on? Dex, what did you think when you saw this? By the way, so evacuating Washington, that's taking all of the people that run, and when you look at what's going on with the event, it doesn't really match up. Dex, I would love to hear your opinion. I know exactly what you probably thought when you saw this. I'll read this next part. He's probably on the phone. But a little-known military task force charged with evacuating was activated on March 16th Joint Task Force National Capital Region is chartered with, quote, defending Washington on land, in the air, and even on its waterfronts. The Special Task Force, the only one of its kind in the country, demonstrates how there are two sides of the government preparedness: the public face and even day-to-day work of most men and women assigned to JTF NCR is the same as it is everywhere else in the country. Medical support, delivering supplies, manning health check station. I love how they put manning health check stations, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But behind the scenes, JTF NCR is responsible for what the military calls homeland defense. What to do in the face of an armed attack on the United States, everything from guarding Washington's skies to preparing for the civil unrest that could occur if a nuclear weapon was detonated in the Capitol. But most immediate, JTF NCR is charged with facilitating continuity of government, particularly moving civil and military leaders to secret locations were the order given to evacuate the city. So, Dex, I don't know if I lost.
That's pretty strong.
Okay, Dex, what did you think when you saw that? So we knew that the military leaders were in Cheyenne.
Yeah, I mean,
now
we're
they're
in
straight up telling us
Cheyenne. We're going back and forth with this little bit of a tit for tat with China. We've got a lot of activity heating up down in Indo-Pacific and the South China Seas, right? And now we've got this that is not surprising. And it's also really kind of concerning because it's just one more piece of evidence that's sort of saying, hey, look at, yeah, we're prepared. We're a country and we need to be prepared, and we're always prepared. And these guys are probably always training for this, but it's being talked about now. Somebody put this out as mainstream. Somebody announced it. Somebody said they're doing this and they're doing it for these purposes, right? That's kind of scary.
Absolutely. And then the next part here says, ever since National Guards started to activate countrywide, Pentagon's officials have insisted that men and women in uniform are not conducting secret missions, and that they will not administer or enforce the stay-at-home quarantines. Yet, I don't know if that's... I'll just say this. I don't know if that's 100% true. The Pentagon has also rejected reports, including articles in Newsweek, about martial law or other extreme contingency plans, arguing that the Guard remains under strict control of state governors while federal troops support civil agencies like FEMA. I mean, come on, guys. This is something that we absolutely can see with our own eyes. People can see them moving in. You've got cell phone videos from all over the country. A lot of these small channels that, like literally somebody who just has a YouTube account uploads these videos. What I've noticed, and I've been looking, every couple hours to see if I could find, I filter it. These videos pop up. I talked about it on Twitter. 3 videos popped up and they disappeared. It's like, some Joe Schmo that doesn't have a single subscriber sees something and he goes, I should upload this to YouTube, uploads it, and then it deletes. I just think that's weird. Don't you? I mean, like, I know it happens to us because we're known YouTubers, and if we put something up, they kind of watch over us. But again, somebody who isn't on the radar, I mean, it must be some sort of algorithm or something that's picking up images of that. Excuse me.
Well, and Adam, I don't think I don't think we're crazy to look and ask questions like, why is the military rolling through my town, or National Guard, whatever you want to call it, men in uniforms, women in uniforms,
not at all.
Equipment rolling through, right? There's nothing wrong with us asking those questions. And I also think that it's probably fair when they're saying, hey, we're not doing this for for some sort of nationwide lockdown too. So maybe what's happening is they're hiding in plain sight the fact that they are putting military around and dispersing them around the nation for a reason, and we don't know what that reason is just yet.
Exactly. And we want to get to the root of this. We do this by having you guys send us all this stuff. When you guys send us emails, either at marfoogle@gmail.com or adam@marfooglenews.com or at dex@marfooglenews.com, Try to send actual documents. Try to send actual videos, but try not to send YouTube videos that kind of go off on other stuff, just temporarily, because this is really serious. A lot of people will send videos and take up a lot of the time. If somebody's trying to get a hold of us or trying to get their information through, it's really hard. And I talk to people every day. Every day I get messages saying, did you get my email? Or when I am in chat with people, they go, did you see this? Did you see this? Half the time, no. I mean, well, no, 99% of the time, no. We get up to 2,000 emails a day now. We used to get that maybe every couple months. Then it was down to like every month we would get that. I was all the way backlogged. I mean, I was trying to respond to people in November of 18, all the way in like July of 19. Halfway through the year, I'm still replying to November emails because I was trying to do it in order. I gave up on that. I try to, I don't mind it. I would say send it twice, if anything, with the same exact subject, and do it like a day apart. And I'm literally trying to give you guys instructions so I can get your stuff. When you send stuff, try not to send, a YouTube video unless it really, really proves something, and try to do some back research on your own too. Try to make sure that it's not a video that has been used before. What happens, just like the moon thing, when I broke the moon story of that guy, since it got big and everybody was talking about it, somebody took a year-old video of something hitting the moon or supposedly hitting the moon, and then everybody, it's like the game of telephone. That was actually crazy. If you guys remember that, all of a sudden it went from this guy. The real story was that this guy in military uniform said that in 4 years something was going to hit the moon. Well, some jack essentially said, oh, I know what to do. There's people that look out for stuff like this. They took a video of the moon getting hit with something through a telescope, and it probably was an asteroid or something hitting it or something small. That doesn't bother us, right? That doesn't affect us. And then they put today's date on it, and then they say, this is what he was talking about. And then it totally changes, and it almost is like that was the government doing that or something, right? They threw you off, and then everybody looks at that. They go, that's a year-old video. Oh, it's all good. There was nothing there in the first place. YouTube didn't shut down for that, this and that. You see what I'm saying? So make sure to do some just tiny bit of research before you spread that stuff around. Check and see if you can find that exact video. Describe it in 3 different ways and see if you can find it back. Because we're trying to do the best job we can. The only mistakes we've really made in the past 2 years are because we post something and we've had to say, oh, okay, that ended up not being correct. And you guys know me, if you've watched my show for 2 years, that's happened like 3 or 4 times in 2 years of doing, almost 5 nights a week. And we will do it. That's journalism. You're supposed to go back and correct something that's wrong. That's why people watch. That's why we get the big numbers live and things like this, is because we are trying to do our best to do that. So please help us do that by sending us good information. If it's documents, make sure if it's, what do they call them? Those indictment. Make sure it's not one from last year. They've done that several times. They've rehashed documents when somebody starts a rumor, and it just takes away from the real stuff, right? So just saying. As far as this, it says the Pentagon has also rejected reports. Well, the Pentagon rejecting reports is exactly what I was talking about. The president and everybody else, they have to lie. It's part of their job. If they know confidential information, they're going to say it doesn't exist. With Hot Musket, which I also broke, that was a call into the show, and it got huge. Everybody was doing videos about it. They said, oh, it doesn't exist. Why would the Pentagon directly respond to something that happened on my show? Think about it. Why did they care? Well, it did get big. There was a lot of videos. Probably 100 people did videos on it and said this, hot musket. And they said it doesn't exist. Well, of course it doesn't exist. If it's top secret, they're not going to say it exists. They're not going to say, oh, you got us. We're going to roll over and say, oh, we had a domestic deployment to the border. 3 months later, 3 months later. The thing is they can say National Guard and move anything in my opinion. They say, people go, oh, well, National Guard comes all the time. They come for every hurricane. They come for, over homeless population. They come for all these different reasons. So we don't have to worry. This happens all the time. But yet, when they say National Guard, they can move in tanks. They can actually transfer equipment and say, oh, it's just National Guard responding or helping out. You don't need tanks with rubber tracks all over the country, do you? Just saying. And by the way, they could transfer, say, grenade launchers, say 500 of them, and transfer them and move them to a different branch. Transfer them, put them in place, and then at a moment's notice, they can bring in another branch. Because it's the all-seeing eye. They can put everything. They can set up everywhere, and everybody go, oh, they do it all the time. Shoot, if it floods, the National Guard's here. Just saying. FEMA. That's how you spell scary. Grave concerns about CV-19 immunity passports. Now, this is the thing. We talked about this briefly earlier. The scary part is, how would you get that immunity passport? How would you be able to go back to work or to travel? Well, there might be some stipulations there that you might not like and might not be surprised by. It says the global tally of confirmed CV cases has surpassed 2 million on Wednesday, a day after researchers at the Harvard School of Public Health warned that the U.S. may need to keep some social distance measures until 2022. 2022. Yeah, we're not going back to normal, folks. That is from Harvard School of Public Health. It says, the IMF predicted that thanks to the Great Lockdown, the world will suffer the worst recession since the Great Depression. Anxious about both the unfolding economic disaster and the risk of CV resurging if lockdowns are reversed prematurely, some officials in hard-hit counties or countries have suggested that a system of immunity passports could be a route out of the CV crisis, for some at least. It says the idea is that people who have already had the disease and thereby gained immunity could be given permits to live their lives mostly like they did before this happened. What do you think about that, Dex? I'd love to hear your opinion on this.
Well, first off, the first thing I want to bring attention to is the fact that the Harvard School of Public Health is majorly funded and named after a gentleman named T.H. Chan, who is from China. I'm just going to pause right there and then say the rest of this part of the story about whether or not we're going to have these stipulations around us all the way through 2022. That's an interesting thing to think about as to whether or not we're going to be willing to accept that as a population, right? Like, we've seen just what happens when you have a restriction on buying, seeds and flags and outdoor goods and paint in a store, causes everyone to, create a sort of a revolution, if you want to call it that, in the streets and say, well, they're not going to take it anymore. You have to make a change. So if this continues for very, very long, I think we will have to see. It will be interesting to see what happens with the population.
No, I completely agree. Now, somebody, I wanted to pull this up because you definitely, sorry about that. You got my attention there. Who was this? Stefan Click said, Wikisearch C19 Atlas comet and the fragmentation event related to your missile body of cell phone video. I don't know if this would be how we do it. Let's see here. C19 comet. Again, I kind of gave you my view on that earlier. As far as the Atlas comet, something that could be as old as the Earth itself, literally could be billions of years old, could be millions of years old, on a Tuesday was just getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And everybody's worried about it. And then all of a sudden, and by the way, it was just discovered in December. Tuesday, it's just getting super bright. On Wednesday, it's fragmenting. And it's not going to be the Great Comet. It's gone. I think if that is the truth, if that really happened, then we must have used some sort of top secret technology to knock that thing out of the sky. Maybe that was the threat. I don't know. Maybe that still is. Maybe now it's in 5 pieces and it's coming towards Earth. The whole thing with T-Man trying to buy Greenland last year, or saying he wanted to buy Greenland for $100 million. Everybody said, well, it's not for sale. And then the Greenland trailer getting pulled off of every channel that puts it up. They like their trailers being shared. They normally want everybody to share it, so everybody comes for that movie when it comes out. Really, really weird. Let's see. Now, I wish you could put that here. Now, it says, Comet Atlas is a comet with a near parabolic orbit, which I don't know how and they've said a lot of stuff about this, which I'm like, how did they know about so much about it in 3 months? Which was discovered by the Atlas survey on December 28th, 2019. So this was like literally the last day of the year almost. I mean, this was 3 days before New Year's Eve. Around April 2nd, 2020, the comet started disintegrating. The comet has underperformed since then. So instead of getting as bright as the moon at night, which they said it was going to pass by, this was going to be an event of a lifetime, which I'm guaranteeing there's people that are super disappointed because this was going to turn into something nobody has ever seen before. Now it's not. They say it was the brightest comet of 2020 when it had an apparent magnitude of about 7, but is currently about magnitude 9, making it about 6 times dimmer than it was. It is fainter than C2017 T2, C2019 Y1 Atlas, and C2020 F8, which is another one we talked about. It can be found with a telescope in the constellation of Camel. I don't know if this is a swear word. Cameloparadiddle? Camel leopard? Camelop Aradalis, Texas. As a diffuse object, due to the fragmentation event, it is unknown if the comet will continue to brighten, and it is also not known if it will reach naked eye visibility sometime in April or May 2020. It will reach its nearest point to the Earth on May 23rd and come to perihelion, where essentially it's the closest to the sun. We've looked at some different things. Now, the caller the other night, which was a great caller, Dex, we should almost have grabbed that clip and put that on news, found 2 comets. I hope you guys did your homework, that could collide, or that was possibly the theory that maybe it's not going to hit us, it's going to hit them and then break apart, and then that would be dangerous for us. The one thing that, what I was hearing is that FEMA put money just recently, like we're talking now in the last month, towards debris recovery. Recovery from debris. Mentioned was a CG22, or a Class 2 gas giant. Could affect the gravity, could affect our weather, could affect our earthquakes, could affect everything on Earth. And now we have stories like them evacuating the government, continuity of government. Everybody is in Cheyenne right now. Pretty crazy. How Google Apple's CV19 tracing could turn sick people into prize. The whole point of this is the fact that this app that essentially tells you if when you went to Lowe's today to go pick up a pair of clippers, that you were next to somebody with CV19 or that was exposed. Essentially, if you've had CV19, you were voluntarily asked to basically put your name in this database. And then as you're walking around, your phone is tracking you, and then their phone is tracking them. So you get home and you say, oh gosh, I was around 4 people with CV19, or supposedly with them.
Well, what if it goes a step further, Adam? What if it goes to the point when you're walking down the aisle, your phone starts buzzing, warning you that you're getting near a CV person? What are you going to do?
Wow.
That's what's going to, and that's where we start to, all of a sudden, people are going to be, labeled kind of like, like you said, the leper communities, right? All of a sudden, if you either have CV or even if you haven't had it, then maybe you become a threat, where only the people with the antibodies and only the people with the V shots are cool. And if your phone starts warning you of these people as you're walking down the aisle, that's a scary thought.
I guarantee you this would be the best episode of Black Mirror. Or what is it? Is it Black Mirror? The science fiction show? It is Black Mirror, right? You guys have
I don't know it.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen that show, I think it's called Black Mirror. You guys, I'll confirm it. I'll go over to the chat. Either way, it's about time I've gotten over there anyways. I've got all of the chats open here. Let's see. Jem, A. Payne, Millwood, Brent, Sonny, Jordan, Suzanne Welch, G, Yabba Dabba Sexy, Calm Down, it's just me. Dazzle, 444, thank you for being here. Lucky Nico, thank you for the diamond. Gone Girl, don't use the app, say no, says Gone Girl 777. Scan Family, thank you for the lemon. Luna Soul, Glenda Turner, Angela, thank you for the lemons as well. One Flew Over the Marfoogle's Nest, says Truth Seeker 55. Thank you for the diamond. We've got all sorts of people here tonight. Thank you guys for all coming by and hanging out. Sadistic or Sadistic says hello there. Thank you for the ice cream. Mandy Troy McClure. Let's see here. Miss Cortana T-Man always reads something when he is live. Always reads something when he's live. Yeah. Well, you mean like instead of just saying it, he's reading a note, or you'll have to kind of clarify on that. Awake but looked upon as crazy lady, says Julie P. Yeah, no, I completely understand that. Green Bay Wacky, thank you so much for the host of 48 viewers. Green Bay Wacky, if you guys have not checked him out, he is a very, very funny guy. He does a lot of positive stuff. If you need positive, funny stuff, half the time he is funny, and then half the time he's talking about the same kind of stuff we talk about. So make sure to go check him out. His name is Green Bay Wacky. Let's see here. Maya 2015, Just John Vlogs, thank you very much. Let's see here. Juanita 541, hello, I love you. I love you too. Thank you, Juanita. Maya 2015, my number one show. Love and thank you for all the time and research. Well, thank Dex too. And then Running with Scissors 2, Adam and Dex mods, great job. Love to my Foogle fam. We've got Malomex. Thank you for the super chat. Says hello to all. Hope you are all healthy and safe. Thank you, Adam, for always being honest. Love you guys. Herd Bowl. Eyes on the prize, fam. JC loves us, and we have nothing to fear. Barefoot Lass says hearts emoji. Love our mods. Stefan Click, of course, was the one that says Wiki search C19 Atlas comment in the fragmentation event related to your missile body cell phone video. So I still got to look on how that's related. Kaleo Napali, a.k.a. Ethics, thank you for the super chat. You can always write something when you do that. Oh, Wise Owl, thank you for that as well. Oli Pop on D Live. Oli Pop, what is going on? I didn't know that was the same. Thank you for clarifying that. B&B says, pray for my family. Husband and I are having symptoms with CV, but thank God our teen girls are okay so far. We get tests in 2 days. So I would say if you haven't been tested and you don't have it yet, just be safe and, keep positive. Praying is a great way to do it. But I should clarify, too, we have to make sure that we are safe. Praying will not solve the CV alone. Burner, thank you for following. And by God's grace says, so thankful for the show. God bless you all. Thank you, by God's grace. I appreciate that. Linda G, good show. Thank you so much, Linda G. Oh, Wise Owl, thank you again. From Europe, I'm assuming. Mickey Min Which, by the way, oh wise owl, since I saw that video of that guy being told by this police officer that he couldn't stand in his yard, I thought, why are you not fighting this? Go stand out in your freaking yard. I guess she said, the woman cop said, we have new powers under the government. I want to know, I would love for somebody there to explain exactly what's going on. I know Gem is there. She just said that from now on they're extending it, whatever else. But can they do that? Can they truly tell you you can't stand out in your yard? Just very weird. I know that they probably couldn't do that here, or at least, it's your property, right? Michael Kinney, wonder what the guys on the space station think of all this. Got to be extra scary from where they are. Well, I guess it's not really like bombs going off on Earth, but it is kind of freaky. That would be a movie in itself. Imagine that. Everything's going on. They don't want people to come down, right? Kevin Furman, still they feed us lies from the tablecloth. And then Natalie Bunce, thank you, and says, keep being you. Your commitment and clever content puts you in a class in your own. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Natalie Bunce. And then we've got some new subscribers. Todd Kittner, David Crockett Photography, LBI 22 1963, and Drew Caravu, and Kevin Furman. So your first time here, and you're already participating. That's awesome. Lisa Vega, Lord Kendra, almost got me on that one. Indigenous Kiwi, my kid has to finish the school year by using Google Classroom. It's just another way for them to collect a lot of data about the kids using it. Lots of stuff. Tuck Pup, thank you. Much love. Donated on YouTube tonight. Thank you. Tuck Pup, thank you for always supporting too. Reading Gospel, always great to be here with you. Enchanted Bayou, Renegade Petey, Rixer Upper, Watch Wolf. All sorts of folks here. All right, let's see here. So much is unknown about the pandemic because the government keeps a lid on it. Well, that's no secret, and that's not a surprise, and it's nothing new, really. It says it is a tragedy unfolding in real time at a skilled nursing facility in the Tulare County town of the Visalia. 71 residents and 41 staffers have tested positive for the CV. 6 residents at the 176-bed Redwood Springs Healthcare Center are perished, and 8 are in acute care, according to Anita Hubbard. One thing to say about nursing facilities, this is about my personal family. My uncle and his brother, uncle by marriage, he's essentially like my dad. They have their mother in a nursing home, and just over the weekend, somebody drove all the way there, drove 5 hours from a different state because they are the only person, the only thing, they had to bring her stuff. They got there, and they turned them back around and said, you cannot come in. It has now been 2 months, and they have not been able to see a family member who is in that nursing home. And also in the beginning, they said, if you take her out, she can't come back in. And this is not a rinky-dink place. This is a very expensive nursing, I guess, community. It's not so much a nursing home. They cannot even visit their family. They cannot visit the property, can't even go in, can't give her anything, can't give her the medicine that she needs, and then they don't do the stuff on that on the part. So it was just really weird. Like, this stuff it's affecting people at so many levels. There's people that cannot see their elderly parents because of this. It says, but without Hubbard's details, little would be known about one of California's worst outbreaks of the deadly virus in a senior facility. Tulare County stopped commenting for 5 days, during which the numbers of positive cases skyrocketed like other cities and counties statewide. California doesn't require it to release such information, even in the midst of a pandemic. So one thing for the people that say that it just completely doesn't exist, which again, I've stated my opinion about this. They can't trick 1 million, 2 million, 3 million virologists on this. They had to have something Fantastic Freddy made. And again, they can't just knock off 30 people in a nursing home. We know people that are now related to the place up in or what was it, Kirkland? Those are real people. A normal flu doesn't hit a nursing facility and knock out 40 people in a row. It doesn't. This one is a little bit different. So I do want to say, I guess you guys got to come to the show tomorrow. I will explain everything there. You'll totally understand. It says, as the CV continues to claim hundreds of lives around and across California, a secondary victim of the crisis is emerging: government transparency. Much of what we know about CV in nursing homes and senior facilities did not come from public agencies, but private sources, relatives, staff members, and administrators. Quote, "I want updates," said Christina Valencia, whose grandmother was among the several people testing positive for the disease at the nursing home in Redondo Beach. It says, "You should have a right to know how many residents are positive." I actually agree with that 100%. If my mother or my grandmother was there, I would say, what is going on? Complete transparency. Show me the numbers. Show me everything that is going on in there, from when they feed to when they sit down on break. If you've got your family, especially if you're paying for a nursing facility like that, or they are paying, whoever's next of kin should be able to know some of that information. Now, I'm going to you guys can go into the rest of this article, but what I want to finish off with, I want to talk to you, Dex, about this. We have been lied to essentially our entire lives, so that is why people are having a hard time believing anything. Literally, even the people that are believing something, then in a day, they literally change their view on it. I know family members that say, "Oh my gosh, it's this," and they'll send me a full-on theory from beginning to end, and they go, "This is what's going on." The next day, they send me something else. "No, it's actually this." Everybody is changing their minds on this every single day. Is it not? Do you guys agree with me that people are changing their name or changing their view on this on a daily basis? Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, Adam, I would agree personally. Even myself, I've looked at multiple different angles on this, and there's so many different angles you can go down, and none of them have actually solidified yet. And it's it's really there's a lot of rabbit holes at the moment. And everybody's got one. Everybody's jumping from one to the other. I even see it even in my own household and amongst my friends. And yeah.
Oh, and it has become not only a physical argument, it's become a political argument as well, which we should have kept the politics out of it. We should have kept it completely separate, but it's just unbelievable. What was that? Canadian something says it's ridiculous. No, I agree. A lot of people said yes, absolutely. The thing is somebody said, I keep changing my mind too. And I get you. How can we? We have so much information going every which way. And it's mainstream that's even fighting about this. You've got the left, you've got the right, but you've also got independent journalists, you've got scientists, you've got lawyers, and all of these other people coming in and chiming in, all trustworthy people. You've got colleges, you've got professors, you've got secure labs saying things about this. There is no right answer right now because nobody knows what the hell's going on. It's the craziest thing we've ever seen in our entire lives. It is absolutely crazy. Cab 7 Ben, you guys make sure to check out Cab 7 Ben. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you guys, if you see anybody with a white check mark or a gold check mark, those people put a lot of work in over on DLive. So make sure to give them some love. Chris HXC, thank you for gifting a 1-month subscription. Jamerson, thank you for receiving that. BGCGA7, thank you for being here. Gone Girl, it's a takeover. That's a good way to put it. Good way to put it. And then, you've got the Q crowd, you've got this crowd, you've got this crowd, you've got this crowd, you've got this crowd. There's so many different groups, and they're all saying something different. Some people are like sitting back and laughing, putting their feet up, saying, oh, this is all part of the plan, which I don't blame you. I wish I was confident in your response to this, because man, it would be so nice to sleep at night. Everybody is up at 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the morning now. I have to say, there are more people that I see that normally are asleep at 9 p.m. They're up at 3 in the morning. Everyone's active at night. If you look at the actual internet usage, it's absolutely crazy. It's nuts. The actual usage is getting crazier at night because everybody can't sleep. People are having vivid nightmares. We've actually reported this. They're doing surveys, and they're seeing that thousands and thousands and thousands of people are having the craziest, scariest dreams now. And it's because it's grief. We feel a general grief for what's going on. We don't know the outcome. We don't know what's really going on. Even the most confident of people in the back of their head, they're the ones going out and they're dodging people and everything else. It's just nuts. Smithfield Food, now largest CV hotspot in U.S. CDC in Sioux Falls to investigate. Smithfield Foods is one of the largest meat processors in the country. If they go down, it's not a good thing. None of these meat processors going down. Just like I explained earlier, I said, I tweeted, which I used the wrong words. I said, we are running out of meat. Technically, we are running out of meat producers. And this person responded and goes, no, we are not. Do you know how many farms we have? We have farms everywhere here. Well, guess what? How much are we depending on those farms? Are those farms enough to feed all of our consumption? Do you guys know how much America consumes? Look at the statistics and look at how much of the meat that we eat in entirety, where you go to the restaurants, you go everywhere. Go look at how much is domestic and how much is imported from somewhere else. You will be just as shocked as when you heard about the antibiotics situation. It was absolutely crazy. 90% of our antibiotics were made in China. Not our ally, our enemy, with a life-saving flippin' pill that literally is part of our, modern medicine. Who would do that? Which president down the line said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's have 90% of our antibiotics made in China. Sorry, I had to put emphasis on that. Emphasis. It was pretty freaking dumb. Absolutely crazy. So Smithfield and others, again, we import a lot of our meat. This, another point that Dex made, is the processed meat. That's where you get into the affordable meat. Nobody's going to have money. Nobody's going to be T-bones. So what are they going to be eating? They're going to be eating processed meat. Processed ham, processed any kind of sandwich meat. You're talking about hot dogs. You're talking about sausages. Those are the processed meat. Bacon, pepperoni, all these things. Those are the affordable meat, the not $10 for one serving meat. And guess what? If those get screwed, if those companies shut down, we're going to have some serious problems. And how many have already shut down, Dex?
Well, there's numerous ones, and it seems like the problem. I heard about even a Tyson in Georgia, where they're having problems of the outbreaks, and it's happening in all of these plants. We actually have a caller, I think, that has some insights from some people they know that works in some of these plants and has seen some of the problems with either lack of decontamination.
Well, let's pull them in.
The CV run it. So number 2 there.
Okay, let's do it. Let's just pull them in since it's relevant to this story. Missouri Wolf, what is going on? You are live on Marfoogle News. What do you know about this meat situation?
Hi, Marf. How you doing?
Good. How are you? So you've got some insights on this?
Yeah. So even before the outbreak, the meat and poultry plants were notorious for fatal accidents and repetitive motion injuries due to slippery floors, speed up, dangerous cutting equipment. But they were they were not giving the people there cleaning. They weren't cleaning. They weren't giving them masks. They were telling them to use hairnets and put them on their face as face masks.
You are kidding.
No, sir.
So
Some of the comments that they were complaining about was no soap in the bathrooms, putting the cafeteria tables in the hallway, so anybody walking by can sneeze or particles hitting the tables. Not disinfecting the cafeteria tables after meals.
wow. So this is, I'm sure there's situations like this all over the country, and this is the kind of thing where you go to the grocery store, where you go to some place where it's public and right there, you see the cash register, you see where everything's being done. Of course, they're protecting them. They're putting up glass, they're putting up plastic and everything else. But what about behind the scenes, the people that make our stuff? What is going on in those kind of situations? So you're saying that there's kind of a reason why this is spreading so bad.
Oh, yes. Now, I'm a union worker. In my personal plant, back in March, they had us taking our temperature before we could even go in. And, they said, oh, well, we're going to disinfect everything between shifts because we run 3 shifts. But they wouldn't shut the plant down in time for us to disinfect anything. Production comes first. That the almighty dollar has to come first. So it was the union workers at the big 3 auto industries that was threatening wildcat strikes that made them. It was actually, I think it was the one. It was the Jeep plant.
Wow, this is the things that are going on right now are kind of disgusting. Well, I appreciate you calling in with that information. Is there anything else that you would like to add that's not related that you've been wanting to say?
Yes, sir. Did Dex send you the picture of the elephant walk with the B-52 bombers?
Yes, let's see here. There we go. We have it. Oh, wait.
I'm in your military Discord.
How do you like it in there? Have you met some great people? Oh,
I you know what? I love the Discord. There's great people everywhere. I spend a lot of time in the general chat as well.
That is incredibly awesome. We now
There's
have
so many wonderful channels. If everybody would just get together and get in the Marfoogle fam, we could take all this information and just, put the sandwich together and figure out what's going on.
Well, we've been encouraging people to do it for 2 years. We've now almost got 15,000 people in our Discord. So that's kind of, it's small compared to the sub count, but when you think about it, for a Discord, that's gigantic. That's a grand group of people. So if we could do something, we need to organize it better. Well, it's organized fine because it's all separated, but I'm saying we as humans need to organize better and get standing up. Let's see here. So I have the link for the PACAF or PACAF. It says Triton, Global Hawk, B-52 Stratofortresses, and KC-135 Stratotankers at Anderson Air Force Base, Guam, perform an elephant walk April 13th, 2020. The Elephant Walk showcases their commitment to ensure regional stability throughout Indo-Pacific. So, wow, look at that. That's kind of a crazy sight to see, huh? You guys realize these are the big boys. Wow, look at that.
Yes, sir. So the Elephant Walk was coined during the Vietnam era. So that's really showing our teeth to the Indo-Pacific right now. So anytime we would see the China or the other countries doing their parades, showing their equipment and their soldiers, showing their strength to us, flexing. This is our flex on them, saying, if our leaders may be in Cheyenne Mountain or you think we might be weak, you better think again.
This is kind of a badass thing to see because you guys have to realize China is watching us like a hawk at all times, just like we're watching them by satellite, with spies, with boats. They're watching this island and they're seeing these planes. So that's what's crazy. See, here's
That
the thing.
location is
No, go ahead. But I'm saying
1,800 miles east.
we don't need a parade. Do you see what I mean? Like, NK, right? They'll do their parades to show all their missiles, and some even say that half of them are fake or paper mache, right? They do that to say we're strong, we have missiles, and this and that. Some people argued last year, like, if we should do these parades and things like that, those parades would only be good to show us how powerful we are. This kind of stuff is what the military does when they want to show the other guys. They don't have to make it even public. They can just do a line like this, and obviously, China is going to see it within minutes. They're going to go, look at that. That is pretty crazy. I think it's cool. Not
if
cool.
The other countries aren't being honest about the numbers and we are, they might think that we're weaker than what we are. So, when all the big dogs get in the room, and if they think the other one's weak, they might think that would be the time to strike. So that would be the perfect time to show your teeth.
But see, under multiple theories, it would be like, well, no, because this is all part of the thing, right? It's just so weird how it's double back and forth. It's like, are they subconsciously doing this so we think this and then think this and think that? It's crazy. They're doing one thing publicly to make it look like we're doing something privately, and then in reality doing a third thing. It's so much crazy stuff going on right now.
We could be wrong. Your source was right. Wednesday, we had a 4-mile object come so close that they thought it was going to hit. We got so many objects getting ready to ping around us, and a major one might hit in September, and they didn't say anything.
They also said, one big as a house, this and that. No, I'm telling you, they have money put aside for this. That's why I said go get FOIA and find this. Where any money that has come into FEMA over the last 3 months. Watch. I tell you. We're going to bust some stuff out, and you guys are going to be like, whoa. And we made sure to say it beforehand so you guys knew. But again, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you. And please call in again. And thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you so much, Marv. I appreciate you.
All right. Well, God bless. That was Missouri Wolf. And we'll make sure to put the link to these pictures on our website. In fact, actually, shoot. Let's see here. Let me do something real quick. I forgot to do this. And we got to make sure we do this. All right, perfect. Bam. Okay, so just because we forgot to at the beginning, I normally never forget this. But nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone who helps with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Now that I got that out of the way, we make sure to say that because I think it was the turpentine thing that that was cutting it close, and it was back then. Nobody's actually said that for a very long time. But I've seen other creators that have had absolutely horrible times, have been knocked off of the platform for homeopathic suggestions and all sorts of stuff. Some of them just keep pushing. In fact, one of my buddies lost his entire online store because they said his claims were something. He said that it supported the different things. He didn't say that it cured, but that's what Media Matters, I believe, said. Crazy stuff that they're doing right now. Let's see here. We're gonna fly through a few more of these. Now it says IMF cautions renewed social unrest possible amid this pandemic. Now, I shared earlier as well on my Twitter that Bloomberg and all these other sources as well that are saying that this could be the very tip of the iceberg. I actually agree with this. I think that the more that they push down, the harder the push up will be. It says, Washington, the economic stresses caused by the global CV pandemic could spark an outbreak of protests. The International Monetary Fund warned on Wednesday, urging governments to take steps to prevent unrest. Well, I don't know what you'd call, putting National Guard in every state, but that's what they're doing. It says the IMF cautioned that some countries remain vulnerable to new protests, particularly if policy actions to mitigate CV are perceived as insufficient or as unfairly favoring large corporates rather than people. So essentially, the Ma and Pa can't open its doors, but the Costco down the street can. Why is that? In fact, I've got a crazy video to show you. In fact, let's see if we can pull this one up. Check this out. This is what's going on in Africa, right? This is an Africa Walmart. Is that right, Dex? I believe this is an Africa Walmart, and we can confirm for you. Listen to this.
Who's the trolley?
They're getting sanitized. I want one of these in my house. Is that nuts or what? Again, that is a sterilization booth that they're going through.
Who's the trolley?
And so, okay, do you notice something? Notice something every time their hands are up walking through this thing? What if they get you trained so well that you just end up doing this? I mean, like, this is almost like programmed, right?
Who's the trolley?
Absolutely incredible, is it not? Is that incredible or what? I mean, seriously. This is the kind of stuff that they were doing in the drills that we talked about 8 months ago. The full triage, the ads that they pulled out and said, hey, we're going to be doing this. You get paid $100 a day to come and act. I'm just absolutely blown away by some of this. Unrest.
Is that Adam? I'm sorry, I'm late to the party here. You're showing the video, right? About the
that's a Walmart in Africa, correct?
Yeah. I don't know if I would assume it's a store like that. Yeah.
It said on the Facebook post, it said it was a Walmart, but we don't know.
Yeah, but the other thing, do you remember when the CV started and they were flying people out and we saw them doing the same thing, just not with equipment? They were using backpack sprayers and they were spraying people as they came off the plane.
Oh, yeah. And
that?
That totally reminds me of the other drills that they were doing in LA.
Yep.
I mean, look at it.
Oh yeah, and they're definitely this is going to be a new thing, and it's interesting because I've talked to some friends of mine that are in the business. And this notion of making body spray is actually, I think they've had it before, but just the whole notion of making, disinfecting body spray will become more of a norm. And you're going to see more of this.
And then for teenagers,
they're actually making it.
They can have Axe.
Yeah, exactly.
Axe disinfecting spray. Actually, my teenager needs that anyways. So they should just go ahead and make that product right now. Just call it teenage hygiene. Dozens of protesters gathered on the lawn of the Kentucky Capitol Wednesday afternoon to denounce Governor Andy Scheer's handling of the CV pandemic. The protesters could be heard inside the Capitol, where Beshear was giving his daily CV briefing at 5 p.m. A common theme at the protest was the controversial notion that businesses in Kentucky should reopen in defiance of Beshear's order for them to temporarily stay closed. Protesters, some of who appeared to be standing less than 6 feet apart from one another, chanted, "We want to work," and "Facts over fear." Incredible. Absolutely incredible. With this whole thing, I'm Michigan, Kentucky, some crazy stuff going on here. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. I really am. Canadian love to Adam, Dex, and mods. Can never say it enough. Lady Green Eyes, thank you so much. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Again, I'm going to try to make sure we go back and get a lot of those. Millwood Bell, thank you so much for the Ninja Guinea. Amy R, aka Mini 70. Millions of chickens getting cold. Cold, like, sorry, not cold, like cold. Culled. Now, what is the deal with the chickens getting cold?
Bird flu.
Oh,
Bird flu.
That's right. We'll end up. We're gonna pull that up. We're gonna end up pulling that up. We'll pull it up actually now. Cab 7. Thank you again. I appreciate that. Happy to be alive. I've been so worried about a shortage of meat. It says happy to be alive. For now, it'll probably get more expensive and more expensive. The supply for processed meat, at least. I don't know though. I think you'll be able to get a slab of cow for the time being, just not a cheap slab of cow.
As the person who's been nominated to go to the grocery store for our household, I can tell you that there is beef, at least where I live. It's come back. There was a time when you couldn't get it at all, and now it's back, and they're just rationing it. You can only buy 2 packages at a time.
Which is great. What if you have a family of, 6 or something? I don't get that. 1 a.m. here, but at least hanging with the Foogle fam. Lucky 7, Nico, thank you so much for hanging deep. We don't normally do this late of a show, so thank you for sticking with us. Sammy Lee donated a Ninja Guinea. Says, now is the time to keep eyes open for DV. People are copped up and alcohol is rampant. Be smart. Now is the time to keep eyes open for DV. People are cooped up and alcohol is rampant. Be smart. I'm trying to think of
domestic buy.
Oh, really? I guess I would say, how would you even see him? If you had family members or something like that, you wouldn't know. Sure.
Yeah, it's really hard. That was one of the things I was saying with kids. You're not going to be able to know if the kids are having problems.
Yeah, exactly. It says, not sure what to believe. I do know that I'm thankful for you, Dex, and the fam. It says, Bird 11, China's contracts with MSM makes it impossible. China's contracts with MSM makes it impossible. Yes, about getting the real information as far as think about all the connections too. One thing I will have to say is we'll talk about it more later, but the Disney connections, all of these companies stepping down, all the connections, I want to go through a lot of that. I actually want to put together a lot of that. Stamper Love, England Lass, Maya 2015, thank you guys for the lemons. G Bowman, Sky Vision, Forever Charlie, thank you for the lemon. Sammy Lee says, yes, Marf, domestic violence. Even if you say that V word, it's a filtered word. Isn't that nuts? Let's see here. Ghost Mafia, what's up, brother? What up, brother? Andy. We've got, I'm assuming Andy in the house. Andy Anki, I guess, is here. And then, let's see. Love the Sax and Twisted Luck at Batcave. Thank you guys for all supporting. And then over on YouTube, we have Rock the Music just followed. Tinkerbell, Sweaty Lightning has just followed me. I don't want Sweaty Lightning to follow me anywhere. But you're cool. Sunny Days, God bless you, Marf and Dex. Unknown Revolver, I like that too, has followed. 420 Gamg. They spelled gang wrong, so it's Gamg. 420 Gamg, welcome. Daryl Devine, one thing the news missed is the first launch of the U.S. Space Force rocket. Its payload was called Atlas, a satellite. RT America covered it. No way, Dex. Did you hear that? The first launch of the U.S. Space Force rocket was a payload called Atlas.
Yeah,
that can't be true.
That is an acronym for I can't remember what the acronym is, but it's like a division that searches for asteroids and they look for things.
Well, no, I understand that, but right? Is that something that's already out in space?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna go look right now
because that's what it was named after.
And there's even multiple comets that are named Atlas too.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, Space Force's first launch. Okay, that's going to put some stuff together. Wait, I don't want that one. Hold on. No flipping way. Hold on. This can't be.
Oh, it's the rocket type, Adam. It's that rocket's been around. It's the Atlas V. It's a type of rocket.
Okay, a powerful Atlas V rocket hoisted the 13,600-pound satellite. The new Space Force seal adorned the United Launch Alliance rocket. Space Force officially became a new branch of the U.S. military in December. A lot of things went down in December. Did you guys notice that? The Christmas gift, all of that kind of stuff. CV, Atlas was discovered. Same time. Can't quite get 6 feet everywhere. Surfaces will be cleaned between people, etc. Tweeted Bruno, who monitored the launch from company headquarters in Denver. He normally travels to the launch site. Wow. Oh my gosh. And the viewing area was closed because of the CV outbreak. So the public couldn't watch. Couldn't they technically be launching like 50 rockets? I guess, people that live there, can you see it from your house? I've never been there. But you guys tell me if you live by Cape Canaveral, let me know.
Yeah, I've seen a launch from there, and yeah, you can see it from everywhere. I was down the coast in West Palm and watched a rocket launch from Cape Canaveral, which was up north. You'll see it. Everybody sees it. You see it in Orlando. It's a big deal.
Wow, wild. So the nothing stopped this. This looks a lot like a hammer too. But that wouldn't reach it that fast.
I think the hammers were on an Atlas V because Atlas V is that, and then there's the Falcon Heavy, which are the big ones. They carry heavy payloads.
Because look at that thing. That thing is a massive thing there. Wow. There's got to be something along with that. That's too weird. Good catch. I don't think it's exactly right there, but man. Chickens getting cold due to no processors to butcher them. Oh my gosh. So that was Amy's point, is that these chickens are getting killed because there's no processors to butcher them. That is incredible so that there's meat there that's not getting out. I mean, like that's meat, edible, meat. There's chickens there. That's crazy.
And that would make sense because Tyson is a huge chicken processor, and that's the name I heard in my neck of the woods that was having problems.
Oh, they're huge. In the frozen section, that's people go for the Tyson chicken nuggets, the Tyson this, Tyson that. Here locally, I don't think we get as much as of their fresh stuff, but in the frozen aisle, they're one of the biggest names there. I mean, they have a whole section in the store. It's processed stuff.
We bought more Tyson chicken nuggets during this pandemic than anything because we couldn't get real chicken.
Isn't it crazy? We've eaten a lot of it too. It's a lot of the we have the little dinosaur nugget things. Things are so good. Sammy Lee says, I just bought a dehydrator and a juicer. Hopefully you'll keep power for it. Assuming if things go south, I hope that people are ready to not have electricity and things. Just saying. And then you and Dex are the best. Michelle 44. Daryl Devine, thank you again. Smoky Mountain Gal, you don't have to do that. Just hit me up. Thank you so much though. You can always say something along with that. Sierra Gold says, love your show. To Takutika. Thank you. Whoa. That can't be right. Can't buy lemons on D-Live tonight, but 4 Michigan sheriffs aren't enforcing our lockdown. Would love to chat sometime. Appreciate everything you and Dex do, and thanks for the mods for keeping up with us all. Peace, love, and shout out to them. That's incredibly generous. To Kutika just did $100 super chat. Thank you guys. Thank you. This is not a one-man show, so we appreciate it. And thank you so much. Pat W.
Tuck Pup?
What was that?
I said, isn't that Tuck Pup?
Takutika? No, it's Takutika.
No, I think at the end it says, sincerely, Tuck Pup.
Oh, I couldn't see it. It just says ...
Yeah, I know. And Tuck Pup, we know that name on the other channel.
Yes, Tuck Pup is always on D-Live. Says, oh, so this is Tuck Pup. Wait, or somebody. Either way, thank you. You'll be on the next news ticker either way. To Tutica, I guess, if you want to put in the chat which name you would want to put on there, maybe your D-Live name. Victoria Deason, Ed Brown, Malomex. I just realized we've got that clip going. Crapola. Malomex, hello to all. Hope you're all healthy and safe. Thank you, Adam, for always being honest. Malomex, thank you so much. Let's see here. We've got Americans. So, okay, Dex, what do you think about the whole Americans boycotting Chinese products? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it should happen? Or do you think...
Well, yeah, I'm starting to think in my mind, how can I do this? Only because I'm frustrated with the fact that if something like this did happen from over there, which I think we can all understand, like there is a virus and it did start there. There was a lot of things they didn't do to help the rest of us, right? And that's not really cool, and that's really a bad thing to the rest of the world. I think it's obvious, though, that the rest of the world is kind of mad too, and we're going to see a lot of ramifications from this economically. Who knows what else will happen?
Militarily,
but I certainly think that the one thing that we haven't done as a country is actually prepare ourselves to be able to be self-sufficient. You know, we talk about it individually about being self-sufficient, but our country itself was too reliant on this one nation. And if the one thing we could do right now is to help get our country back to a place where it can support itself and not be so reliant on especially just one big nation out there that could have so much control over us, from manufacturing to, pharmaceuticals to whatever. Like, we need to get rid of that. We need to be able to bring stuff back to America. We need to make things, here in America.
Okay, so what I don't understand, you have them spying on us in every which way, and they were relatively smart there, because they were like, oh, well, let's make products that they will consume like crazy, like their DJI drones. That got big. Now drones are going to be the next thing. But essentially, these Chinese companies were actually putting their stuff in these objects. Think about it. If they wanted to spy on us, they've got their stuff everywhere. They are buying up every piece of property.
The biggest thing that they have, Adam, the biggest thing, I think I said this many, many, many shows ago, the biggest thing they have, every single one of our surveillance camera systems out there, probably 95% of them are made from companies and manufacturers over there, and they run an operating system that they have control over and they have backdoors in. So they can surveil just about every camera system we have in America.
Isn't that absolutely crazy? And we covered that about 3 or 4 months ago, right? The chip that they were possibly using for a lot of this stuff. That's why. And then all of a sudden, the military says do not use any DJI products. They discontinued using because they're the best drones out there. They are the best technology as far as like the lower end drones. The Enterprises, essentially it's the Mavic 2 Pro Enterprise Edition, was being used by Sheriff's Department by using all these things and essentially sending it back perfect information. And as the drones got better, not only did they record stuff on that card, they were sending it back to a cache on a phone that those could actually access. So you're talking about mapping the entire country. You had everything dependent on China. Like if you're watching this for the first time, if you end up sticking around, there's a lot of crazy stuff you'll end up finding out about just by keeping up with this. It's nuts. Again, I always forget to say, while we're at it, if you feel like this was useful in any way, make sure to press the like button. It actually helps this get spread to new people, which means new people in the chat for you to talk to. Again, likes actually do help the algorithm. So if you guys do like it or even dislike it, then press that as well. Dislikes actually help the channel. The trolls that do it, I say thank you. It helps a video go big. That's why that Microsoft video, that was a viral video, 24,000 downvotes before it was taken down, less than 1,000. I don't even think it had 100 likes. That thing got taken down, but that thing was going crazy because of the dislikes. They like any kind of interaction. Like and subscribe. If your subscribe button, maybe you go, well, of course I'm subscribed. That's not true. They will give you notifications for my channel and it will still be unsubscribed. Check your bell. See if it's on all or some. It's pretty nuts. And check it for all of your favorite channels. It says Republican Senator Rick Scott said that the American public will want to boycott Chinese goods after the CV pandemic, and U.S. resale companies such as Amazon should help by listing where items are made. It's crazy that they don't already. Shouldn't they have a flippin' made in China stamp on it anyways? It says in an interview on the Charlie Kirk Show podcast released Monday night, the Florida senator called China an American adversary. Well, duh. Kirk, a Newsweek contributor, is founder of the president conservative group Turning Point USA. It says, quote, they don't open up our markets. They steal our technology. They are completely non-transparent in this process. And they sell people's kidneys. I don't know what we're doing with these guys. They literally take people and just go, okay, we're taking your organs because we don't like you. Low social credit score. We are a civilization of civilized people, and we're dealing with countries that just like literally are back in the 40s. I don't understand it. Oh, but it's cheap. Hey, we can save a few bucks. Doesn't matter. It's blood money. Blood money. Too long? Bird 11. Who could have prevented this with data from Taiwan? But who says Taiwan does not exist? China. Bird 11, great point. Incredible statement there. Happy to be alive. Thank you. DML38, thank you. The Nameless Block, Chris HXC. Marfoogle Demand, thank you. Thank you for the Ninja Guinea. I appreciate that, Chris HXC. Latchkey Kid, Michael T. Hopkinson. Gone Girl, Yabba Dabba Sexy. You've got Glenda Turner. Thank you guys for the lemons. Steliti, Luna Soul, Oregon Made. Thank you for the lemons. And Divine1122. Thank you for the diamond. Lady GT476, it's nice to see you tonight. And thank you for the diamond. Let's see here. So, Okay, so now we've got them essentially saying that, what is going on? They're going to boycott Chinese goods. I think it should have happened a long time ago. I've been saying this for 2.5 years, but, that's just us. UK government, and that's another thing. Everybody agrees, but nobody will want to pay the price when we do that. So imagine all the cheap stuff we get off of Amazon now, like the $5 earphones or the $6 earphones I had break on me. That's why I've got these on. We're not going to like paying that $9 price instead of $6, and we're not going to get the same stuff. There's pros and cons to it, and people say what they will, but then they'll be complaining once the prices go way, way, way up. But if you survive through that, you can afford those prices because you have a better job, because you're getting paid more, because they're doing the work here. Just saying. UK government must prevent Chinese firms from buying Western technology, former MI6 chief claims. So what is being said here is, it says former MI6 chief John Sawyers has said that the West needs to seek every mechanism to stop China from buying strategic technology and associated firms, including companies such as British semiconductor chip designer Imagination Technologies. The thing is they are the one of the richest. In fact, half of the richest cities are over there. It's basically China and America. We are the two superpowers. Russia's kind of like the third, Dudley over there with a bunch of guns, and then you've got China. They do have technology. People say, oh, we could have 2 F-16s and ours would kick their butt or whatever. But they are getting better and better. They have the manufacturing power. Even if they had a subpar F-16 to our Super Raptor this or that, F-18 frickin', can see a mile coming. If you've got 10 mass manufactured F-16s to our F-18s or whatever they're called, those 10 are going to take out that one. It's a numbers game, and that's what they've been doing. I told you guys this. They've been building all of these things undercover. They've been building boats. I would not be surprised if they had 6 carriers all of a sudden. All of a sudden, it's go time, and they come out with more carriers than we had, when they say publicly they only had the one, and it's got a fire on it, right? Just saying, mass production. If they've got 10 tanks against one, it doesn't matter how badass the tank is. If it's going up against 10 tanks, it's not going to have a chance. And I believe that's part of their strategy, is in the numbers. It says in 2017, Imagination Technologies was acquired by Canyon Bridge, a private equity firm backed by guess who? A China Reform Holdings, an investment firms with direct ties to the Chinese government. This has got to stop, and again, how do you stop it? Can you stop capitalism? Can you stop a business just because they're from a certain country? That's where it gets confusing. I'd love to hear your guys' view, 224-400-MARF. Then we have U.S. military planes spotted after China sends naval ships past Taiwan. It's exactly what was commented a minute ago, actually. The U.S. military reconnaissance jet was reportedly spotted flying near Taiwan's airspace. It's the 12th time in the past 3 weeks that American military planes had been detected near the area. Citing flight data posted on Twitter by military air movement tracker, the Taipei Times reported that an RC-135W Rivet joint flew over the South China Sea on Tuesday. The move comes just one day after Japan and Taipei were forced to keep an eye on Chinese aircraft carrier and its strike group as it sailed past Taiwan. Now, remember, too, they not only had that fire going on, we've got all of our Navy out doing something or other, possibly the Panhandle. And then you've got China secretly testing nukes, or so they say. Kind of strange. Oh, yeah, and then disconnecting all of their gaming servers. So anybody playing Animal Crossing cannot talk to anyone outside of the country. Now, why would you disconnect from the rest of the world as far as voice and text communications? Are you preparing for something? That's what we're wondering. I don't know if I got that before, but Victoria Deason, thank you so much. Shannon L., thank you from Canada. I appreciate that. You can always write something. You can write it in Canadian too. Canadian is my second language. Laughing Mom, thank you, Marf and Dex, for your bad dad jokes. Natural Vanilla Sweet Tea, thank you so much for following. Rock to the Music. Tinkerbell, thank you for following. Again, thank you, and thank you. Sunny Days, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Because says, God bless you, Marf and Dex. Let's see here. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about the whole China situation? I'd love to hear it. China's claim of zero CV infections in military is bogus, or so Fox News says. Sign of intimidating rivals, experts say. Well, that doesn't sound too surprising to me. What do you think about this, Dex? It says China has recast itself as a global leader in defeating CV, and nowhere is that more apparent in their military. Do you think that they
Come
really...
on.
Really? Do you think they killed
zero. it?
Let's talk at the same time.
I'm not buying it.
Sorry.
All right,
no, you go.
I love you, brother. No. But look, I'm not buying it at all. Zero cases. I mean, this is we got an elephant walk. They got ships rolling over here. We got planes flying there. They say they got no CV. I mean, what'd they do? Take the playbook from, Kim Jong? I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. And it sounds, every news agency in the world could say it's heating up. We don't know. If something does happen, it's going to happen like that. All of a sudden, one of our cities is going to be a bright flash, and I tell you what, do not look that way, because you will be blind. As far as this goes, we follow it. We follow what the military groups are saying. The military groups are saying that our leaders are getting put into secret locations and bunkers, and it's still in there, even though the majority of people are saying, "Oh, everything's getting better. We're past the curve. We're past all this stuff." Well, you're still on lockdown. There's still things popping up. We're still not open up. And sorry, but I don't think it's normal yet. In fact, it is getting kind of even crazier as far as what they're doing. In fact, every couple days, just yesterday or the day before, they said, we're putting new things in place. So by the end of this, we are going to have several things that are put into place, and we won't know for sure if they're put out of place. So we will see what is actually going on. But by the time we see it, hopefully we're not too late. That's why I say, look at what the military is doing. They're evacuating they're supposedly evacuating the White House and doing continuity of government. Why? What do they expect? So just be ready. If you don't have power, have the stuff to have your life continue as normal as possible. Don't think like that, but at the same time, prepare like that. China sends aircraft carrier near Japan, Taiwan, as U.S. Navy struggles. Or they say, right? It's kind of funny how they got theirs taken care of so well there. Japan and Taiwan kept watch on the Chinese aircraft carrier Liaoning and its strike group as they steamed through the Myoko Strait and past Taiwan over the weekend. According to the Japanese Ministry of Defense and published reports Monday, the Liaoning and 5 accompanying warships passed through the 155-mile strait halfway between Japanese islands of Okinawa and Miyako on Saturday, turned south and passed east of Taiwan on Sunday. It says the strait is wide enough to qualify as an international waterway. Wow. It says the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force tracked the Chinese aircraft carrier, 2 guided missile destroyers, 2 multi-role warships, and 1 supply-class fast combat support ship as they passed 262 miles southwest of Nagasaki's Danjo Islands at about 7 p.m. Friday. So, yeah. It's incredible what is going on here. China continues South China Sea military action despite CV. Despite continuing CV pandemic, China has not slowed its military and research activities in the disputed areas of the South China Sea. Now, in an unusual move, the Philippines is getting involved. It says Al Jazeera's Barnaby Lowe has more from Manila. So we can actually, you guys can go to this one. We've linked this. But I'll just say this. They have made a forward operating base at the halfway point from China to the United States. See, there were physical limits back when we had the advantage because we could go longer and farther than they could physically, like gas-wise, technology-wise, all of this. They had kind of the downhand. But everybody, the whole reason why this whole thing, would you say that they didn't kind of have their own sort of midway type thing? Like now they've made an island for themselves. Don't you think, Dex, that this would make it easier for them?
It's definitely about claiming territory, right? You build that island, then all of a sudden you have it. You get to take the international waters out and call it, your waters. So it's a big deal.
And the problem too, you get 200 miles out from the islands if you claim it, but on top of that, nobody will be able to travel that if there's resources there. But on top of that as well, they were saying get out of the airspace before it was even claimed. I mean, they're cutting out like 6 countries or something. It's nuts.
Yeah, and it's like the biggest. It's a huge shipping area. I mean, it's a lot of wealth, a lot of commerce travels through that area. So having control over it is really key, I think, and that's why they're looking at it as such, that they want to own that.
Well, not only that, it's like, people think that we're done conquering, right? That people are done conquering and grabbing land. That's not true. In fact, they were, since they're trying to be business savvy and, not kill anybody right now, they made their own land. They literally took dirt from the bottom of the sea and made an island out of it. They had special boats that would suck dirt from the bottom and pile it up, and they actually made themselves an island. Actually multiple islands with runways, with tanks, with military equipment. It's literally a base. Pretty nuts. And it's all still going. This I was totally not worried about as far as like we get these kind of stories once a week at least. It says Russian jet flies within 25 feet. Now that is very close. That is incredibly close, actually. 25 feet is like, 2 or 3 rooms over. So just you could throw a rock at it. Spy plane in unsafe high-speed maneuver, the Navy says. Well, the Navy's said this many times. I've covered probably 1,000 of these stories. If it's not a boat or if it's not a regular plane, it's a jet. A U.S. surveillance aircraft flying in international airspace over the Mediterranean Sea was intercepted by a Russian fighter jet on Wednesday. It says that the Sixth Fleet said that the Russian Su-35, their equivalent of their, badass jet, flew within 25 feet of the U.S. P-8A Poseidon plane in an unsafe high-speed inverted maneuver, putting the American pilots and crew at risk. Okay, these are Russians.
Did he pull a Top Gun on them?
He literally went upside down. The guy went upside down.
Was he giving him the finger?
He went upside down, and I want to, man, would that not be crazy? Do you think that oh my God. Do you think he was going the same direction, went upside down, so his cockpit was facing down? Do you think he flipped the bird? I mean, like, really? Why else would you do that? Like, he was showboating. He went upside down above the flipping the plane. Or, yeah. I mean, he was inverted, so he was upside down. What a nut. Probably went the same spot and then, did something. And then they said, well, that was dangerous.
Maybe they have trouble with their spy cameras and they needed to get close enough so the Polaroid would work.
That's pretty funny. But, and then could they, I don't know. It's going too fast to stick it out the window and flap it, I don't know. But Michelle Bordeaux, incredibly generous too. It's happy to be alive from D-Live. Says, I'm thankful for the hard work y'all do to bring us the hard truth. Blessings. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle Bordeaux. I got it. Dark Age Growing. I bought a chest freezer from Lowe's yesterday. An associate told me they wouldn't get more until June due to national security. Dark Age Growing is my garden YouTube channel. Still trying to get to 1,000. We'll love mob you. We should get you. You should have called in with that though. Susan Donahue, Adam Dex, and Mod Squad. Many thanks to much. Foogle fam, we can get through this together. # Team Humanity. You changed it up, Susan, just a little bit. And Susan, you can do $1 or nothing. If you want to do nothing, that's fine. Thank you so much, Susan Donahue. And by the way, I'm putting a few people in a permanent thing. You guys are going to see. Kind of like our outro has all of the mods on it. I wanted to say thank you to the people that have been there pretty much every show, regardless of how long we've been on. So it's pretty nuts. Laughing Mom, Natural, Vanilla Sweet, thank you again. Welcome to the fam. All right, we're going to get the phones open. Again, if you guys want to help support us and possibly help yourself, again, DHS has told us a lot of different things. I would say it's the smartest thing to do to protect yourself. The military is doing it. The DHS is doing it. The DOD is doing it with a certain company. EMP Shield is also on the DEMSO team, officially helping them protect the Texas grid. So these guys are no joke. It's Keystone tested, military standard. It protects against all 3 phases of an EMP. E1, E2, and E3. It actually can protect you. It has a 100% lightning guarantee backed by a $25,000 insurance policy. So even if your house gets struck, that's actually cheaper for this device than just the deductible of getting struck by lightning, let alone knocking out every single device in your house if something worse happens. So, and then it can actually do coronal mass ejections as well. So make sure to check them out. If you don't get it through us, even if you hate this channel, go through somebody else. Go to their website and get it. Don't tell them we sent you. You don't have to put our stuff in, but protect yourself, because this is going to end up saving lives if this happens. It's a big deal. marfooglenews.com/EMP. And then, let's see, we've got that. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. We are almost to 15,000. You guys could get me there tonight. We do a lot of love mobs, trying to get other people places. I just think 15 is a cool number. And I hate non-rounded numbers. All right, so we've got a few phone calls here. Let's see. Up next, we actually already talked to Ms. Shora Wolf. We've got Alex. Let's see here. Alex, you were live on Marfoogle News. What is going on?
Not much. How you doing, Marf? How you doing, Marf family?
Good.
Just first off, want to say God bless, and I hope everybody's safe and everything. And just got some info and just coincidences and just everything you just said tonight can actually tie into everything that I'm going to bring up here. I don't know if Dax
So I got the
Dax will
link.
send you information. If you go under Google and you Google 2017 PDC JPL, there, if you scroll down like the third or fourth thing, there's a PDF for a planetary binary. Basically, they did a conference. They do this every year, Planetary Defense Conference. This all started like my friend said there was an asteroid coming, not Atlas at first, that it was on the internet like 2017 and this and that. And then it's just disappeared. I'm like, that's weird. So I just kind of researched it and started looking around, and I pulled up this PDF and it says exercise only. It's like 16 pages. Scroll down about 8 pages or so, and the pages are different. It still says NASA at top, and it's from Ames Research Institute, which they do a lot of research for impacts and everything else. And it no longer says exercise only. And you just keep scrolling down. It shows impacts coming in right above China, Japan, off the Pacific, and it says impact date 5/20/2020. No longer exercise. I'm just thinking about all this stuff, and I scroll it down to the bottom, and it shows rocket dates and everything else. And I'm thinking about. I've been listening to you for a long time. I remember a year ago, 6 different countries all sent up rockets within like 24, 36 hours. Japan, India, Russia, China, us. And if you read at the top of this article, it mentions how they need 6 rockets. Basically, they were going to send up 6, and one of them, I guess, failed. I think one of ours actually failed as well, and that they need to use 5 of them and use kinetic impactors to deflect or break up this so-called thing. Well, if you add in Atlas, just broke up. It's breaking up into pieces. Rockets and stuff like that. We're setting stuff up. Crash zone was supposed to go right above China. We deflected this thing out in space. When you deflect something in general, you're usually going to change the trajectory. If you look at the trajectory over the last 4 or 5 days, NASA and all them, they haven't updated or changed any of it. This stuff's now breaking up, and there's no new trajectory, which is quite weird. So I don't know if this stuff's going to still hit us. And then you start bringing up stuff about even EMP shield. What if they deflect this thing and it hits the sun? Are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here. I'm listening very intently. And you made a really great point there. They haven't changed the trajectory.
Yeah, so but if you look at the article, go to I don't know if you got it right there in front. If you go down about like the 8th, 10th page, it no longer says exercise only in the bottom right page like all the other ones does. Even though at the very beginning, when on the Google thing, it says exercise only in large letters. Somebody snuck this in from NASA or JPL or somebody. They wanted to get some kind of information on it, I think, or something, because this is just weird. Because almost all the other conferences, you look at all the exercises that have gone back, they all say exercise only. This one, for some reason, does not. And it has the date of 5/20/2020, impacting, blowing above Japan.
Well,
another weird thing, it's just everything's called Atlas, the Atlas Alliance, the Alliance rockets. If you look on the bottom graph, it looks like we're supposed to be sending up rockets here fairly relatively around now as well, too, is possible option 2, 3, 4. This Comet Atlas is supposed to collide with Swan or whatever you're talking about. If that's supposed to collide, maybe that's the binary, or maybe it's just another random piece, but there might be a binary that's connected to Atlas that we have to worry about. Another thing is, if Atlas is off trajectory and if it does crash into the sun, could that cause CME or solar flare? So we're still waiting for that, which that's supposed to come towards the
we
sun,
know the government is
beginning of May.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me, right?
Yeah.
And we know the
government.
The government is actively preparing for, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say preparing. They are setting up EMP protection all over the country. Why? Only on their basis.
EMP protection, but then you also have the boats. You have the boats on the coast. So if it does hit off the coast, they just change their trajectory. They don't know if it's the East Coast or West Coast. You got to have those hospital boats there for a reason. Because the hospitals, if there is a tsunami or impact on land, the hospitals on land are not going to make it. those big boats, they can withstand, 100-meter wave probably. They can live, make it through majority of that stuff if something major
Well, they
happens.
can go out too.
And you got to look at all the
they can
boats
go
too.
out.
We sent all the military. We sent a lot of our military bigger boats down to South America, supposedly for cartels. I think it's just to possibly get out of the way for possible whatever, so that we have extra boats around on the side. Then you look at just us preparing everything. Majority stuff is on the coast. You look at inland stuff, it's pretty much normal. They want to open up the country, get everything going. If something is happening, you want to get that part of the country open, ready, going, because they're going to be the backbone that's going to help us all if something major happens. Then you got the military going in Cheyenne Mountain, backup plan as well. I think they actually did break it up. I think they were able to break it up. That's why we see Atlas breaking up the way it is. But they're not updating the trajectory.
Okay, so
they're not telling us any information what's going on with that.
Okay, can you hear me at all? I feel like
China
I'm talking to a brick wall.
Has a supercomputer named Atlas 900 that controls the rockets.
I don't think you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall here. Can you hear me? Am I quiet or?
Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, my phone. I was just rambling on. There's so much stuff.
Well, no, and I get like that with Dex, and I'll talk, and he's saying stuff, and I'll have it muted or something, or be talking like this. Okay,
sorry.
So
I had the volume down low. I just turned it up a little more.
Okay, so you get what I'm saying. Dex did the math on how long it would take long-wise, because I asked him. I said, "Hey, do you think we broke this thing up?" I have talked about this. You can go back 2 years to my videos about Hammer, which you know about. You've been following very closely. Hypervelocity asteroid mitigation. It's a kinetic, basically knock it with a nuke, try to knock it off path. All of a sudden, one day it is getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and everybody's starting to get freaked out. The next day, it just broke up. It's now fragmented. It's just too weird.
Correct.
This thing's older than
Correct.
A planet. And it just suddenly, from a Tuesday, Wednesday,
go to the
goes.
bottom of that. Yeah, you go to the very bottom of that. It shows the very 2017, when they did the conference. But they're sending off rockets. I remember right before all the alarms went off in Canada and in Japan and in Hawaii. Those 6 countries, 6 major countries, all right there around that area where it's supposedly supposed to hit. They all sent up rockets, including us, within that time frame. And then, shortly after everybody's doing their test, we get our presidential alert test, calm before the storm. They've known about this thing since Obama era. You know what I mean? They talk about, the financial aid crisis, how a lot of that money just disappeared. A lot of that money went up to Space Force. They've been trying to get this stuff going and building these kinetic things. They know this stuff's coming. A lot of our money, our taxpayer money, is up in there in space right now. They say these chemtrails and stuff. It could be just to block a lot of stuff. You talk about mirrors up in space and this and that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on up there that we just don't know about, to be honest. You know what I mean? And for the amount of money, even President, Trump asked for $60 billion additional in the defense thing just for Space Force. There's a lot of stuff's going on out there that we just don't know about. And if there is a binary or if there is trajectory change, things can happen. But we're still not out of the clear yet, and I think that's why he hasn't opened the country and why the world's not open yet. India's extended till May 20th, so
it's a very freaky thought, because April 29th was mentioned, May 23rd is mentioned. This exercise, or the map they give here, though, is kind of freaky, because 2024 is kind of the cutoff. It's like the flight, we got to get to the asteroid by 2024. And then
those are just
all
exercise
of these
ones. But then you look at the ones that don't say exercise. It says impact date 100%. That's the crazy part. So what if the exercise ones the dates are wrong? What if it's 3-4 years difference? You know what I mean? The final date's 2027. Maybe it's 2024. And we're like 3 months ahead of it, or 3 years ahead of everything. I don't know. It's all crazy.
Well, no,
and if you tie in, with all the crazy stuff with the great sign in heaven and the blue star, it's going to appear here next March. What if that's that comet coming around the binary and it's coming straight for us, or hits the moon? Who knows? What if all that stuff? It's crazy.
Now, we also talked about the video that went around and said that something was going to hit the moon. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but as far as all of this, the trajectory, I get that this is an exercise, or part of this is exercise only. But I just thought it was funny. Even the exercise says, we've heard over the last couple years is all of a sudden, out of nowhere, every country wanted to get to the moon, and because the moon would be a kickoff place to go to Mars, and also all of them started saying 2024, 2024, 2023. The Deagle report says that there's going to be this dramatic drop-off of population between here and 2025. Now, of course, people can debate that all day, but that actually comes from survey information from all over the world. It shows us going down and almost all of our allies. So it's kind of weird. It looks like it may be from a conflict or something else.
Yeah, the Deagle report. But then if you look at too, though, if it hits the ring of fire, what's going to happen to the earthquakes? Think about that. If it hits Japan, if it explodes in Japan, you think about you get another 9 in Japan, that's going to echo around. Listen to Dutch. It'll freaking echo. Earthquakes follow a path.
Yeah.
What if that sets off at 8 or 9 in the Cascadia? Then that volcanoes go off too. That's why everybody needs masks in the world. Indonesia, all the volcanoes. Volcanoes here. Everybody needs masks. Why do you think they're holding all the N95 and all the hundreds? All the good ones. The government. Right now, the food, they're letting everybody take a little bit of food right now. The food supply will last until end of May if we're on lockdown still, if we all limit it right now. Why do you think they don't care about the seeds? The governor of Michigan, who cares? You know what I mean? If she knows that the plan, she knows it's going to hit, you don't need seeds. It's going to be a nuclear, or, you can have an ice age all over again. The seeds aren't going to do any good. And you build a wall so we can't go south in Mexico where you can actually grow the seeds. Keep us all up here. Try to keep the economy going in the United States. Keep America great. There's so many coincidences. There's too many to not look at. You know what I mean? You can factor in. You have so many breadcrumbs between the family and your videos, Marv. If you can put them all together.
I know. Look at. I was just pulling up.
It's unbelievable.
I was just pulling up all the old videos, and do you remember? Like now we're looking at this whole mask thing, right? But when you look back at the old videos, way back 9 months ago, talking about the 40,000 masks. I mean that literally that was my thumbnail because that was the strangest weird thing.
And you want to know something? It's sad to say, but the guillotines are for traitors, but they're for traitors of us that don't sit here and stay and want to deal with all the crap that are going to be running across the border, that are defecting, that don't want to deal with everything that could possibly fall out. If Yellowstone goes off or tsunami, Cascadia, it's going to cause mass depression, mass problems for the whole world, for not only us. There's so much more at cost if something major was to hit, say, right at Japan, right at the freaking ring of fire. It can cause a ripple effect so big. And think about it. If the governments, it'd be a lot easier just to shut down the whole world and take a small economic loss, then let the people know that, hey, we got a giant asteroid coming. Everybody would go nuts. The economies would go crazy. It would be worse than locking everybody down and slowly let the economy hurt a little bit now. And then try to defect it, try to deflect it. Hopefully we can save the world. Hopefully we can do this. The nuclear substates were saving the world. Remember that thing too? Maybe they knew something about what was going on.
Hey, it's Brian.
I don't know,
but
and
I've
there's so much stuff
that
you can tie in. That captain too, that video that disappeared, something's going to hit the moon. Maybe in 2024, that binary that's coming in is going to hit the moon, and that's what's going to crash and cause lots of chaos. Who knows? I don't know. Lots of stuff, man. This asteroid.
So it sounds like you've gone
the Atlas one.
You've gone through my old videos, have you not?
Hello.
Have you gone? Oh,
I've
sorry.
gone through everything. Marv, I've been with you since you were I was like your 700th subscriber, right? When you were doing videos in your court with your hand phone and basic camera, way before Marf TV and everything. So yeah, I've listened to your videos for a long time, man. I guess I've been living in my van since 2017. I've listened to you and Naughty Beaver and just everybody. Just everything's just coming together. It's just coincidence.
Well, sometimes I even feel crazy,
and
sometimes I feel crazy.
Yeah, you're not crazy, Mark. You know what I mean? You just have to look at everything. You know what I mean? Knowledge is power. You know what I mean? Knowledge is power, and it's not to scare anybody. Think about when we were kids, Marv. Remember the shirts that always said "No fear." There's predictive programming and everything, but there's always positive predictive programming as well. There's always somebody throwing something in. Those shirts that said "No fear," that was their predictive programming for us kids. In our late 30s or 40s. Right now we were basketball playing. The kids. Was messing around in the neighborhood wearing those shirts. So didn't even think about it, but everybody's weird and thinking about no fear. Just have no fear about this stuff and just be prepared. We have to be prepared. The government, sometimes they're not going to tell us. They don't want mass panic. They don't want the people going crazy. They don't want everything going nuts. You got to try to control and mitigate as much of this scenario as you can. And whether the whole virus thing is real, it could be something too, just to kind of get us the world slowly stepping in the right direction to prepare for what's coming possibly in May. Who knows? Or even if it doesn't come back in May, what if this thing circles back? What if it is going to be stuck in gravitational in our solar system and it keeps coming back around and around? And that's why we have 2, 3, 4 attempts to try to destroy it or deflect it before it finally hits the final projection bus.
No, I completely
There's
understand.
just so much.
And if you're trying to build a real business,
So much, stuff that and then the whole EMP thing, they don't know if it's going to hit this. They don't know if it's going to hit the sun. If you have something that's half the size of the sun atmosphere running into the sun, is that going to cause a solar flare or CME? I don't know, man. That's a pretty big comet. I don't know if we had comets that big of atmosphere that we've seen in our life hit the sun. We have comet divers all the time and sun divers, but have we seen anything that big? I don't know.
No, we have not. By the way, I wanted to say sorry when you watch this back there. You couldn't hear it, but a couple of the times there was a couple little sound bites I was trying to show, including this event 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 4 months ago, all the way up to this. If you looked at the videos, we even put pandemic in the thumbnail. We said this is coming, and everybody says, "Oh, it's fear porn," and then it happened. I showed you guys that. Did you not see that?
Department of Homeland Security giving us the warnings. They've been slowly giving people warnings. They've known it's coming. The whole world has known this is coming. They know something's going to hit us. Okay, and whether it's now or by the end of the 7-year tribulation, 2024, August, during the Paris Olympics, maybe, I don't know, but something's going to hit us anytime between now and then. We're going to have earthquakes. We're going to still have the locusts. We're going to have issues, but as we come together as a people, we can solve anything, but we got to have knowledge, and the government eventually is going to have to tell us, something's going up. Somebody's going to have to leak something somewhere, So I don't know, hopefully our family can look more into this PCD 2017, kind of look into it. And then you got Atlas, there's so many things combined with Atlas. You got, first look at Atlas, you got China, their supercomputer called Atlas 900. This thing here powers so many different things. It's ridiculous. Then you got the Atlas rocket that's setting up, and you just mentioned today that there's now an alliance, a rocket that's attached to it for Space Force. What alliance? This could be the other countries that send up the rockets a year ago now. I don't know. And then, you're mentioning what you mentioned. Oh gosh, you mentioned basically everything you mentioned today in the news before. You can tie into something along with the signs of preparedness or getting us ready, or just it's crazy.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, man. I really do appreciate you, and I know exactly. It's hard to say somebody's watching my show for the first time. They don't know about all this previous stuff. It's pretty hard to put into perspective how we knew this was going to happen. I mean, look at this. Literally, the thing is I've been putting messages out there. DHS and government, TM Shield, let's talk. Did you see up here? Literally talking about the pandemic. Look at all these. Literally, superpowers get into position. This May started all, and then superpowers, the masks, all of these are for reasons. Check this out. Literally, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. This whole time, and I was looking back, and the whole time I'm like, what the heck? National Guard at Walmart doing drills. Sterile reaction teams, how hospitals are preventing outbreak. Look at this. Look at this stuff. Sorry, but people say, oh yeah, you say you told you so, well, sorry, I feel vindicated and people called me crazy for a year. And I'm sitting there like, please just believe me. And people are going, yep. Why do you think my logo, this was on my shirts, mask. As far as back then, we had inside information that no one else had. Look at this. I'm trying to find it. 9 months ago. We've got the 40,000 masks. I put this out and I was trying to make sure that everybody understood, like, this is... something's going down. Something is happening here. We avoided planetary catastrophe. Let's see here. I mean, you could see this right here. Proof. This is huge. Proof they know something. Pandemic. Only allies survive. Wearing the Seattle Police Department mapping city. Wearing masks, full-on masks, like they were. I mean, like, this is just nuts, and it's crazy. It's crazy to know that you were saying it and you were right. It's kind of like that guy in the end of 2012 that's played by not Matthew McConaughey, but the other guy. He's totally nuts. He lives out in Yellowstone Park, and nobody believes him. And he does a radio show. I mean, literally. And then they started doing the nuclear testing in the in the dumps. I mean, it's just crazy. Sheriffs warn of events coming. I mean, talking to somebody who's kind of been there since the whole time, I just knew it. Sorry. And people say, oh, it's like I was bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm saying we've been telling you, and I just really appreciate the people that have stuck around, like that gentleman. All right, we're going to get our next caller on here. I wish more people were like Alex. Prepper Rabbit, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Let's say, Adam.
What is going on?
Sir?
How are you?
I'm out here looking at the lovely stars this evening.
That is great. Do you see anything weird?
Nope. Don't see a thing.
So
you know what? I'm sitting here listening to all this, and when I called, I had an agenda, but I want to change what I was wanting to talk about.
Go ahead.
I don't know how religious you are. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and I'm a Christian. But I've always been told only God knows when the world's going to end. I'm not sweating it. I'm not. If something's going to hit.
Well,
this
nobody's
earth,
saying it's going to end.
Well, I'm just saying, though, as a human being, as a prepper, all I can do is prepare for whatever and just live my life. I just don't sweat it. I really don't.
Well, let me ask you this, though. What are you going to do?
Sure.
Or will you be sweating when people are knocking down your doors?
Well, we can't, we both know that we can't have that conversation.
Yeah. Well, we can tomorrow if you want to call back. I'd love to talk about. I would love to talk about that. You could actually call back tomorrow, and we could talk about whatever you want.
Sure. What time you want me to call?
We're gonna have our show around this. Actually, earlier, probably around 6 Pacific. But anyways, keep going on what you originally called on. Other than that, though, go ahead.
Well, I tell you, the reason I did a video the other day, and my title was, "What are you going to do? What are you willing to do?" And I hear people all the time say, "Oh, I wish I could have a homestead. I wish I could do this." And it is so achievable, but people just don't want to step out of their comfort zone. I know you listen. I know you're friends with Prepper Nurse One. Me and him pretty much doing the same thing. I'm off grid. I don't have electricity. I'm not hooked to the grid. It's achievable. People can do it. Now, I say, banks won't loan on land. They won't. Land's worth nothing unless there's something on it. But you can buy a tiny house or a mobile home or whatever, and the payments are achievable. Now, a tiny house, you're not paying points, And I just want people to know that if you want to get out in the country, you want to do it, just about anybody can do this. They really can. It's not that hard. It's not that expensive. I'll say this, going off grid, there's enough suck to go around. There's a lot of suck, and you got to be willing to embrace it. But people as a whole, man, I tell you what, I live in the best place. If you offered me $10 million to go back to the city life, I would soon be dirt poor in the country. It's so achievable, and I get so tired. I think people are programmed to be in debt, and you don't have to be in debt. You can come to the country. I mean, like I got 18 acres. I pay $2,100 an acre, 35 grand. In a lot of places, that's what you pay rent a year. You can do it,
and you own it.
I just want people to, huh?
And you own it. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I own it. Yeah, do you know what my property tax is a year on 17.5 acres?
Oh,
$127.
Wow, that is impressive.
$127. That you can pick up cans and come up with that kind of money. I live in a tiny house. My house is a little bit bigger than PN1, and it cost me $15,000. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of money.
No, yeah. In fact,
you pay it off in a couple of years.
No. Yeah, in fact, if you have any kind of anything above minimum wage, you could probably scrape that together in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm saying with paying off rent while you're trying to do it. Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable how
people
we could change things.
Go ahead.
Well, just people that say that they don't realize what they can do.
Well, I tell you what I did. Before all the Charlie Victor stuff started, I said, tell you what. I said, if you need a bug out location, I gave everybody a fair, I mean, I'm not rich. So I said, it'll cost you something. And if you want to buy you a same thing I did, or you've got an RV or something, I'll let you come up and stay with me until the dollar collapses. And I said, after the dollar collapses, you don't owe me nothing. Because I'll have to put in infrastructure and so on and so forth. And people, I don't understand it. It's like people live in a fantasy. Like, yeah, I want to do that, and that's really cool. But in reality, I guess it's the fact that people are scared to death. They don't want to do it. I mean, I sold my house. Me and a buddy bought this stuff. I got a buddy. We bought the 18 acres, put in the tiny house, the whole 9 yards. And it's just so achievable. And I feel so sorry for people that it's like we've always been, people, when you turn 18, mom and dad said, well, if you get a credit card and you pay that off, you get credit. And people are programmed to be in debt. I'm not in debt. I mean, I've got debt.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Nothing like that.
Let me ask you a question. What state are you in?
Sure. Tennessee.
Okay, just so you know, people would have to move to Tennessee to get those kind of prices, though, because one of our family members has 3 acres, and I think their property taxes is like $8,500, like $4,500 a year, something crazy like that. But and then the average rent. So the average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment where I am right now in Seattle, Washington, is $2,100 for a 1-bedroom apartment. For a home, it's anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000. But
you need to move.
Well, no, and I agree.
I'm just saying.
But we've got family ties, so sometimes people can't leave because of family. If you go to Texas, you can buy a house for what I've already paid in rent over the last 2 years. I mean, like, it's crazy.
But let me ask you a question. Hey, I got family too. Well, I've got a little family left. To me, that's what Thanksgiving and Christmas is for. You know what I'm saying? If you got family ties and you're willing to be dirt poor because of family ties, then it is what it is. And I say dirt poor because the amount of rent or whatever, that's insane. Now, granted, what's the guy's name? James Wesley Rawls. He did a book, The Second After, and then he did another book, where are the best places in each state for preppers to live. Now, I'm on the plateau, and that's Middle Tennessee. And I looked for land for 2 years in a different direction in Tennessee because I wanted to live near a couple of different lakes. I came up here to the plateau, and in 2 days' time, I think it was, we found this land, and we got to looking around. It's achievable. You might have to move across the country. You might. And let's see, the average pay up here, it's crazy, but the average pay up here is $11 or $12 an hour, and that's no money. You know it, and I know it. But the cost of living up here is almost nil. So, as long as you're not asshole deep in debt when you do this, it's achievable.
No, I completely agree.
There's different places in the country you can do just what I did. I'm not telling everybody to move to Tennessee. I mean, there would be standing room only, but you can do it.
Well, so Prepper Rabbit, we're past our time, but I wanted to make sure you got one more chance to say what you want. I was just pulling up, though. By the way, somebody says, but they make more in Seattle. You have a higher wage. No. There's news saying that $15, which, by the way, we can take this $11 an hour. That's what normal people are getting paid. $15 an hour was in South Seattle or whatever. It was by the airport. That was the first place that did it. They might have raised it then. Once you take out taxes, you're talking about $12 an hour, maybe 11. But I'm just saying $11. Yeah. If you weren't getting any taxes taken out, which is actually what people up north or anywhere else in Seattle were making, you take 40-hour work week. 40-hour work week times that by 4 a month, you've got $1,760. Yep. That's $400 short for a 1-bedroom apartment. It doesn't matter if you get paid a higher minimum wage. It's a couple dollars. The wage is getting paid $20, $30. Doesn't matter how you do the math. You're barely scraping by unless you're making $10 to $12,000 a month. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I guess I'm fortunate. I sold my house. I came up here and did what I did. I'm not poor. I mean, listen, I've owned 3 businesses in my lifetime. I've owned a grocery store, an armed security service, and a painting company, okay? I flipped houses for a living for quite a while. I sold my house. I brought, without getting real, I came up here with less than $80,000. Okay, I stayed in the campground for several months, bought the land. Now I've done everything I'm going to do. I'm improving my land and so on and so forth. But the average bear can do it. You can go to some guy that owns 50 acres and say, "Hey, I want to buy 3." He'll say, "Sure, I'll sell it to you for $21,000." It's still cheaper than living in a city. You were talking about earlier.
No, I get you. So to sum up though, Prepper Rabbit, we're gonna do a love mob for you. We're way over time. I appreciate you calling in, and we're gonna show your channel. I guess the point is, yes, no, I understand that. I have a mother of my oldest child. She's 14 years old. That makes it a little bit harder because it's got to be close for that reason. So I guess that's my situation. But there's many people that should be moving, say screw it, and you're totally right. Go visit family for Christmas and actually, live somewhere cheap. I've heard Austin, Texas, you can literally, when I saw those shows that were showing them buying the houses, house hunters, absolutely crazy. You're talking about these guys had a $350,000, $400,000 budget, which, by the way, my sister spent $440,000 on a house. There was a 2-story house with 2 little tiny dinky rooms in the basement, a little tiny dinky basement room, 3 bedrooms. It's a 3-bedroom house. Nothing special. $440,000 for that house. And not even in downtown Seattle. We're talking about way up north. And she, hour and 25 minutes in traffic to go down to downtown and work. $440,000. House hunters in Austin, Texas, or wherever it was by the launch spot of wherever NASA. They had they had 4,000 square feet, built-in basketball court. I was like literally blown away. I'm like, how does this money go so differently in this other state? Like, that's insane. That's why people don't understand when I get donations, even if it's a bigger donation, even if I have a good month, it's a horrible month for anyone else in the country, or it's a wonderful month for anybody else in the other country. Especially that was when I was by myself. Now that I'm not by myself, it's even, it's even different. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, it is absolutely insane here. And I have said, screw family even at this point. I'm like about to say, we need to just move because it is so expensive. $5, $7 a month. I saw a lot of people from local area saying, if you're making $100,000 a year here, you're barely scraping by. Isn't that nuts? That is nuts. We live very far away from Seattle just to make it by. And I just think it's nuts. I never thought Corolla Hood says it's insane in Seattle. That's why people don't get it. It's all relative. If I was making the same in Austin, Texas, I would actually be doing good. Like, it's nuts. It should not be. I don't know why Washington is that bad. I understand Amazon and all that. And they know that these Amazon workers, and I used to be in a job where I did credit applications for these people. And they would, they would say how much they make. And I'm like, the minimum Amazon, Microsoft employee, $10,000. That was minimum. And when I was sitting in my position making minimum plus commission, or when I got stepped up to even my good job, making 70, 80 grand a year, I've even made more than that with commission, over 100,000. I was not making, I'm like, how did these guys make this much a month? And this was years ago when $10,000 a month, these people were well, but they weren't doing great. And I just never understood that. But it's as you go up, as you get bigger in, if you get a house, instead of living in a dinky apartment or having roommates, once you get a house, once you have kids, all the expenses go up. It's true what he says, being a slave. Prepper Rabbit's totally right. We're a slave to the system. We're a slave to being in debt. No matter where you are, they adjust it so you have a hard time. Isn't it crazy that if you're in Austin, Texas, they pay you $3 an hour because everything's cheaper? Shouldn't it be just the same everywhere? And if that's cheaper, then you can do better in that city. If it's a ghetto area, make it cheaper, but pay the same. It's just stupid. Somebody said Marfoogle for global partner, I think. No, Seattle is beautiful. And thank you, by the way. Whoever said that, I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm trying to get global partner every year. I don't really understand it. We're not a brand risk. We're not anything else. But they just, the platform just doesn't. They've skipped over us a few times now, so I don't get it. But I'm still hopeful. They take their time. They are gaming centric. I get that, but of course, you can't. You got to be equal too. There's already people that aren't gamers that are global, so what's one more? All right, let's see here. We've got our next caller here. We've got M. M, you are live on Marfoogle News. What is going on?
Hey, Marf, how are you?
Good. How are you, M?
Good. I've been trying to call you for months now and finally got a hold of you. But speaking of non-rounded numbers that you were talking about, I hate setting my alarm. Like people that set their alarm for 6:17, I have to set it for 6:15 or 6:20.
That's yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. No, I totally agree with you, and I know exactly what you mean. It's a little tiny pet peeve, but it's something that we all have. I get you.
Okay. So I'm a travel RN in California. I called you before a couple years ago. I've been listening to your show for a couple years now. And so I work in the ER all over Orange County and Los Angeles County in California. And they made this big deal about the CV and made this big fear about it. We made these big tents, and the tents were built overnight and created this big fear about it. And this is kind of what I'm calling about. But basically, we've been dead. We've had nobody in our ERs. And maybe it's a good thing that people are listening and that people aren't, I guess they're social distancing or whatever.
Well, do you think maybe they need all the hospitals empty for something to come?
Well, I think it would have came by now. It kind of scared me because it wasn't a joke when I saw the tents. They made this big deal. They were like, oh, we were going to have this big surge, at the beginning of April. And then all of a sudden, I was laid off a few days ago as an ER nurse. And they told me that the census was low and that they didn't need me anymore. And I had found out actually through a coworker that a coworker tested positive for COVID, and they laid me off on the same exact day.
Okay, and just a little reminder, Doug, if you cannot say it, because we've gone the whole show, and that one time actually can mark the whole show with a little bar underneath the channel. Just try to remember for the future. It's already been done.
Okay, so the coworker was tested for CV and tested positive. Is that okay to say? They were tested positive.
Go ahead.
And so they laid me off the same exact day. And I was really sick in March, actually. And I checked myself into my place of employment, and the doctor told me that they didn't want to test me for CV because it would, quote for quote, open a can of worms. So they didn't want to test me as a nurse because they didn't want to go through the process of contacting all the patients that I came in contact with or coworkers I came in contact with, because it would have to lay off all of those employees. And at that time, they thought that, there was going to be this huge rush of people into the ERs. And we went from seeing 200-300 people in a 24-hour shift to 50 people. So, and less than that sometimes. Sometimes I would only see 4 people a night. So there hasn't been anything in Orange County or LA. So
why would they? It's just crazy to even just without any of that, the fact that they're laying you off right now when they were just saying that they're grabbing people that were retired and grabbing people from every state they can.
It's not true. Not true. It's not true. they've actually let off more than one travel nurse, because I'm considered a travel nurse in Orange County and LA. And they let me go the same exact day that they found out that the other nurse tested positive for CV. And it's just, I had a problem with it because I had emailed them and I said, look, I'm a traveler, but I haven't been getting emails from any management. So because by law, they're supposed to be telling the employees, like, hey, you've been exposed to a patient, because when somebody comes in through the ER, you don't know if they test positive for CV until days later. So they're supposed to notify the employees, like, hey, you were exposed to a patient that was positive for CV, yet I haven't been getting any emails, and neither any of the employees that I know of. And it's kind of crazy to think that I've been there for 6 months now, and they've basically said, no, you haven't come in contact with any positive CV people, which is impossible, because I know for a fact people that were admitted and tested positive later down the line for CV, but they didn't notify me that the person was positive. So you've got nurses that are positive or exposed and, spreading this.
Have you thought about going to local news, or calling one of the local news, like one of the ones that can actually, I guess, put it out? I have actually, I might want to talk to you off air too. So somebody asked, Nikki Nebula says, where did she travel? So I guess, where did you travel to?
Orange County and Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
So all over Orange County and Los Angeles. So, but if you are aware of the Los Angeles community, and Orange County, it's a lot of international people. I mean, the hospital that I work at is very infamous for their, I guess you can say, Asian community. But I mean, a lot of them are scared to even say, when they come into the ER, they don't want to say, yeah, because one of the questions we ask is, have you traveled internationally or out of the country in the past 14 days or 30 days? And nobody will say yes or no, because they don't want to be labeled that. They don't want to be, that's not, they're scared already coming into the ER. So when they come in and they don't want to label themselves even more. So that was a big problem.
Well, yeah. So, and you got laid off. Are you going to get another job? Or, some would say that.
So the big problem with me being laid off is that my contract wasn't supposed to end until May, and that they laid me off the same day that they found out that the other coworker was tested positive for the CV. And so everything felt kind of really weird and awkward in the ER. So I've kind of taken the step to take a couple weeks off, because there's a lot of weird things that have been going on, like the whole things with the coming in, that like codes, like if they come in as they're doing CPR on somebody and they don't really know why, but they have to mark it as CV as the reason for that.
So I might want to have you, I might want to talk to you off air and then have you call in tomorrow too. I'll actually want to ask you some questions, and I would you be able to verify, well, I guess I would have to ask you a lot of things that I probably wouldn't ask you publicly, and see if we can say those publicly on air, and see if we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we do that? I think that you'd be a good like actual kind of guest on a panel to pull up. Do you guys agree? I would love to see you guys in
Absolutely.
chat. Would you guys like her to come back on our Unfiltered show tomorrow? And then let's poll. I'm going to get some other guests on there too. So I would like to ask you some questions off air, because I don't want to ask you now and put you on the spot. There's a few things that I think we can point out right now that we could possibly break, between you and somebody in a different state that is a good friends with somebody here that's been a part of the show. Between you, them, and a third person, we might be able to really make some waves. So I appreciate your call. Is there one more point that you would like to make, or I guess what would you like to say to the people within reason until tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, everything with this whole, they created a big fear with this whole thing. And whether it's pushing the V scenes, I guess you would call it on your show. I never got the influenza VC, I guess you would call it. I never got influenza, but I think that this whole fear thing is pushing this whole thing, and I think they're trying to cover up a lot of things in the ER, which is really scary to me, and to not only me, but my coworkers are very they're very scared of what's going on behind the scenes, because they're not being very transparent with us. And
are you guys starting to wonder if there's something non-CV related going on?
There's been things said to us that it could be something that they're preparing for something bigger to kind of be a test run. There have been things that have said, we just need to see how this goes. And it's been a very awkward feeling. And I'm sure a lot of nurses can relate.
We're in a live exercise.
The United States. But that whole film your hospital thing, it's true. There's nobody there. It's not a joke, but the serious people that do come in, and I don't really know what exactly is going on, but there's weird things that have been going on, and I don't know, maybe you're right. It needs to be talked off air, but I'm better, if there's questions to be asked, I can answer any questions about what's going on in the Los Angeles, Orange County area, but it's not what people are seeing on the news. It's not this big fear pandemic thing that's going on. It's something that...
Okay, well, we got to say supposedly. Tomorrow we're going to say everything, okay? I'm going to get you back. Otherwise, the thing is we are concurrently growing an audience that we can get out 99.9% of the message out to, as long as we watch the words we use. People go, oh, you censor yourself. No, we don't. Everybody understands. Everybody just had something light off in their head. Well, 99.9% of them. I see the light bulbs just going pop, 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 pop. Do you remember the words, the quote? We're in a live exercise. Whew. No. Oh, he said that today.
Yeah.
Somebody just said it 2 days ago.
Arizona thing?
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I want to bring you back, okay? Let's talk off air. I'm going to right at when I finish this show. Can we talk for about 10 minutes? Or do you want to talk tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk?
No, we can talk after the show. How do I get a hold of you?
Okay, because there's somebody too I can get a hold of as well. I have some people I want to put together. We're gonna come back for tomorrow's show if you're available. Otherwise, I'll move it to the next day. Okay?
Oh no, absolutely, I'm available.
Well, I think everybody is. So, yeah, I would love to talk to you off air. Dex, do you have her information? And
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you, and Man, oh man. Okay, well, thank
Thanks,
you.
Mark.
Okay, I'll talk to you right after the show.
Everything you're doing.
I appreciate you. Holy moly. Dex, did you just have like a live, a light bulb go off and it smacked you right in the face?
Oh yeah. Some really insightful information in tonight's show.
And I don't think people could wrap their heads around if, just hypothetically, if this entire thing was a LE, right?
Right.
But if there was something massively bigger coming, they would have to do something on this kind of scale. And what if it's a positive thing that they are doing a LE before it happens? Just saying. I know one faction or the other is going to say, you're an idiot. I hate you. You're an idiot. You don't know anything. You say you're awake. Thumbs down. I'm helping you. Thumbs down. Help. Please, thumbs down. Okay. Dex, I love you, brother. We're going to get the heck out of here. We're going to come back tomorrow.
Love you too, man.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna argue with you guys if you're. I can't do D Live. Please, we have videos teaching you how to do it. It is free, 100% free. It might not be the same experience, but change is good. Get you out of your comfort zone. Get over there because it is going to be an amazing night tomorrow. Unfiltered, which means we say what we want. Callers say what they want. If they cuss me out, they say it. We'll do it. Over here, we want to keep getting people in the door. D-Live, that's where they end up opening it and leaving and running away. So, we will say that for now. Man, oh man, what a craziness. Atari 9000, Amora Joe, Insom 76, BGC 7. Thank you guys for all being here. And PPPPPPPPPZ, thank you for gifting subscriptions to all of them. Absolutely crazy. Thank you. I wanted to get on here and say thank you to Manders, Chris HXZ, great caller. Mosquitoes, butterfly, and I hope you guys get what I mean. She said the C word once because it's live. I don't know. It might happen in the next minute. They'll put a wiki bar underneath it. It's nuts. They are so good. Catch that word once. Mosquitoes, butterfly. Lately, my 3-year-old keeps having nightmares of space. Oh, that's... And it's so... And when they're that small and innocent, you know, they're just telling you just straight up. They're telling you about space. That's creepy. Gone Girl 777. Marf and Dex, you rock. Lots of great work. Thank you. Tuck Pup says, live your dreams. Start now. Pure happiness over money. I love it. I love it, Tuck Pup. Thank you for the beautiful words. Heaven's Calling, Just a Cat Mom, Latchkey. For Skeeter says, move to Washington from Texas and will never go back. I get what you're saying. And I've heard the same from a bunch of people. I actually have a group of people I talk to. They all fire at the range, and they're from Texas. They're actually like a group that all kind of originate from Texas. They said they love it. It's where they grew up as part of them, but they would never go back. And I'm sure there's some Texans out there that are like, well, screw you. We don't need you. What if the tests are tainted? That's what I heard. Hey, girl. Gone girl. I get you. I'm telling you, there's something massive here. And we're just right at the tip of our tongues. Tower Bear, yes. Kelsey Davis, Marf. Lady Green Eyes says, Adam, number 1 at my hospital, either mom, RNA. Lady, and then we've got a nurse, Queen Fisher, RN. Oh, man, we've got some people in here. In fact, our nurses are scared because they're in N1. Latchkey, thank you. Jay Trucking, thank you. Amy R, a.k.a. Mini 70. NH laid off 500 plus health workers this week. New Hampshire laid off 500 health workers this week. Kind of crazy. Aussie's walkabout, because the economy's still going down. You all make our family a bit more prepared. Sammy Lee, thank you for being here. I hope you guys know the names that I've seen here for 2 years, though, and even the people that I've seen every single night for a month. It's like the people that come and they don't stop coming. And it's not because of me, it's because of this group. You guys get to talk about so much. And by the way, I watch the chat the whole time, and I get these ideas from you guys, and we all bounce off each other. It's amazing. Great show, Foogle fam. Love you, Marf and Dex, says Miss Cartana. I am Ruts. We've got people over on YouTube. Love you guys. Wise Owl, thank you, from Europe. Of course, now I know your other alter ego. Don Beauregard caught the end of a live stream. Wow, looking forward to the replay. Whoop, whoop. You just whooped me. So we are now officially friends. Bella Rose looking up. Thank you from Canada. You can always write a message there. Rogelio Perez. Rogelio. I love that name. I just like saying it. Rogelio. Sorry. And then I had a Spanish accent. Jessica Harrison, thank you so much for the wave emoji. I guess that means you're waving or you're clapping at the appropriate time to clap. Trinity Red or Blue Pill Hi Ho Kermit the Frog here. Please radon EPA maps and LiDAR swarm, grasshopper, locusts, DARPA, with CERN, Atlas, Dune, Plasma Iter, example, Hall County, Grand Island, Northeast Radon levels, and meat plants. Radon. By the way, DARPA is not our best buddies. Those guys are playing a part in way too many things. DARPA's name, their agency, has been all up in everyone's grill. Absolutely nuts. Susie Touchstone, God bless Adam Dex, subs, and Marfoogle fam. Awaken ER, my new documentary released Friday on Facebook and YouTube. Isaac Cappy versus the Shadows. I will check it out. I don't... did you change your screen name? Either way, I'll look it up. I barely knew Isaac Cappy, but as you guys know, I did a video on that, and I just felt so horrible. Whatever ended up happening, man, what a weird thing. And I think it just kind of went away real quick. The guy was like... He definitely had people talked about him because he was something. He was something. He just had a presence. He definitely reached a lot of people. Coalition of Common Sense. Love it. Thank you for following. Claire Paseric, thank you for following. Michael Donnelly. Been watching you since you did the interview at the FEMA base in Bothell. I live in Linwood. Love the content. Michael Donnelly, thank you so much. That is an incredibly generous super chat of $50. And Michelle Bordeaux, who did the same exact thing. You guys back to back. Absolutely nuts. Again, like you're local, so you know. That's a lot for a local. You know what I mean? So don't have to do that. I appreciate you. You know the neighborhood that's in then. That's really close. It's I was really surprised at where it was, to say the least. And I was surprised at the size. If you get a chance, drive by the thing. It is incredibly small. And the guard on that video said, he's like, we don't have the supplies here. The gentleman protecting the FEMA base says, oh no, they don't have supplies here. We gotta get help. He had a bug out bag in his car, and he said all of the employees do because they're expecting Cascadia. Absolutely nuts. You guys, if you haven't seen that video, it's one of my biggest videos, and I didn't do it for any... What's the craziest part about that video is I was just doing a live stream because I thought I was going to get arrested, so I wanted it to be on record. I was hoping that if I was doing that, it would give me it was just so weird that I would have witnesses, you know? I didn't know anything about going to the fence or I don't know. It was super weird. Much debated video. All right, Dex, I love you, brother. We're going to get out of here, but before we do, it is time for a shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. Finding the button didn't work. It was on, but I turned it on.
Outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News, Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use.
Marfoogle News. It's catchy. It's kind of...
Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. I do. I've got to hit the ones in chat, got to bring it back. You've got to run it just like that. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Chick little on base, girls out glamping. Ooh, I just wanna go back down. Proud Canadian round, got to go back now. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Twisted luck of my window, chick litter and commas here. I love the grace captain, got that I am roots and to play hard. 6'9", got to go back and it's gonna be a fine time. You've got the JoJo, I like me for me, and Miss Kimmy, and everyone like a mosquito's butterfly going back, and you ask her why. I'm about to go play hard, not try hard, like Roxy Lips and everybody cars all over the streets, and now we all stop cause we inside of our house and we speak. Yes, we know. Side of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I love the way that we say la la la, just like just a cat in my mouth, and we know it's going down. Know it's going down. window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Got the mandolin, not going to bring it back now. Love mob everyone over there with that Steve 84G, aiming for truth, and everybody knows that we do what we do just to be like you with the truth. Everyone knows Mandalana and that makes to me that 26 and the Benjamin plays 1080p. You've gotta go check them out with a white check mark. You better go click on the name and the visitor channel when they come into here, cause we like to support creators. I love the way you feel born, makes me feel now. And Chris HXC, Brandon Phoenix, Jaguar, Coyote, BB. Now you know I'm gonna bring it back down. Amy R, thank you so much for being my #1 supporter tonight and a massive supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know a lot of people are in hard times, and for you to support like that is absolutely extraordinary, and it is not required. Chris HXC, thank you so much for being my #2 supporter tonight. Cab7, Ben, you are a creator and you give away all of your money, and for that I even respect you more. As you know, we have given away half of what we've made here to other streamers, so I appreciate you so much, and I know exactly why you do it. It feels good to help other people, and that's why we do this. Millwood Bell, Sammy Lee, happy to be alive, PPPPPPPPZ. I appreciate you. Gone Girl 777, Grace for you too. Latchkey Kid 78, Mary Sharp, you are what makes the channel. Rock for Life, Great Captain, Great Scots Captain, Skirp. I can't even talk right now. Thank you, Phil Bailey X, for being a great mod. Jaystone 78, CJ Blaze, Jem, thanks for being the most awesome camera buddy. Little Red Pill, Missouri Wolf, thank you for your call tonight. Thank you, Alex, great, amazing call tonight. Again, with the nurse who called in, absolutely amazing. We're going to talk to her after the show. Stormy7572, Do BQ, and Urban Farmin' Robin. Stormy weather and we bobbin' to this beat, and we gotta look outside the window. It's wrong, looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I like the way that Coyote BB goes down the sea. Now we've got that rock for life, the vigor bite with the night and the nighty night. Hey, kill up and the rest, go bring back that beat. And you know we just got a cap mom going down, and we flawless by that chat with that. One need a 541 with the Mary Sharp. Gotta open our chest. If you're bad, then you get kicked out. Doesn't even matter, cause it already got popped up by Diva. Hey now with the mutant fat cat and the Shastina, and you just get it like that. Simulation 7, thanks for being around with the Chickawa Bananske. I love the way that they hit it back now. The drums just go it back around, do it just right now. You've got to say it's gonna go back down now. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going outside where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams.
Ah, dee, doo, doo. Let's kick it over now, let's go over here.
I know what you be looking for is a kind one of weeds, and I got my switch with my mind 1186, and I'm a still roof. Gonna go down now, it's so tough. I've got the way, I've got the say, everything there. You said today in the boom boom, gotta hit the drums now with the Maui's racing. We'll let the aloha, mohalo with the gun grow now. And the nameless block, and I'll go back now, and you bring it all the way back. And you now gonna have that a cowbell in here, gonna bring it back now with a back ass weird world with the lady green eyes. Thank you for the limits, and I am roots now in the just a cab mob with the Kimmy and the Jewel 44, spinning around with the lucky ticket too, and the top contributors too with the Amy on now. Thank you so much for coming back out. And you gotta go with the Johnny Doom and my sugar bear going down with my baby girl 7346 and a bigger 92 with a flawless bike Christ with a busty bumpy. Now I've gotta go see bumper, do it now, and you know.
Now you know, it's all about the speck of freckles. Coming back around and now you got them shekels. Do it back down now, we never heckle. A Mr. Potts with the lovely stots and the Jim. Going back round like I got that sleep for the rim. Old Bay 7777 and the Daffins with the Monty better roll. Gonna bring it no. And you know CJ Blaze ain't going there a different way. Marfoogle, that cowbell. Oh wait now, you never know.
Maybe I didn't lose it.
That cowbell, never once will I do so. I will always keep the cowbell so close to my allotted body and my torso. How to get Gario, gotta go like I'm check go. While that is with the Wild West, in the Wild West, going all the way back in a check. A dream light and a J or star, gonna do the J star, or maybe I got it backwards. Outlaw, I love Beagles, and it's definitely as I go Beagle. Now I gotta go do my Kegels. I don't wait, what did I say? I'm Eagle. Oh, Eagle, I'm in your fire. They think you all going back with a Billy Bet. Northwest, Limbeck, thank you for coming by every night, and you know I just hope to see you succeed.
You know that we be doing it like that. Now rockin' for life, you better hang out and you better play hard. And you better calm down, cause it's just me. You know what I mean.
bag, and you know, no, 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 now. No, 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 now. And you know, no, 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 oh, you've gotta stop it, bye. Whoa there, you don't do that now. You don't do that. You don't do that now, you know. Oh no. Whoa there. Andy what just came into the chat now? Is this a celebrity? You go over there and you make sure to check out Andy Watt, okay? Back to the music now. Whoa, 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 no, I got to stop it again now. Wayne Lubin said he's leaving. I might have to go start the show right on over again. You can't leave. Neither can you, Blondie. Or Red Gang 313. Over on YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's the way they call it, YouTube, because I feel used. You just use me and you leave, don't ya? That's not how it's supposed to be. Wayne Rubin.
Got to go.
Wayne.
Wayne Rubin. I said, Wayne Rubin, you better not know what you're doing. Denise Parker will smack that. Hey, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Kelly, SG1, is in the house. We might have to do another show just for you. Kelly SG1 is one of my most amazing people out there. She's incredibly smart. Make sure to move when she walks by. She is a royalty here. Oh, yeah.
What the heck happened? What the heck happened? What the heck happened? What the heck happened? Got the baby girl, now we go clapping. I got Vic Row 85 happening. I Danny Hoffman and I Scott from Ozzy. Gonna bring it back, then we're getting cozy. Baby girl 7346. About to go back round and I'm getting sick. Cause the flawless by Christ is that guy. And he's gonna be that love we fly. Only with the love of the one from above. Gonna be the Amy from Truth and the Tough. Gonna be tough as you can be now. Little green eyes and roll the cow. Now they cutting them up and getting them on me. Gotta go back around and now they on me. They follow with me, be a high. I'm going back round and you know we fine. Hey, say my name says I'm bearing a Torex. Gonna go back and you know I always check. Hey, feel better, see, going back there, going back around, and you know, oh, got that don't know boss, say bye, don't know about that ball. You gotta hit it and rewind back. You gotta go back and do it die. Gotta hit it back and you know it die. Going to hit it back and you know it die. Gonna who got that dick da die. Go with that dick da die. Don't me that dick da die. Don't me that dick da die. Dumba dip dip dop dip ba day. 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 I like the way you go. Love Adam's music, yo. Dumba dip dip dop dip ba day. Dumba dip dip dop dip ba day. Welcome, Gray. You know, gotta go back with a gimme. Gonna bring it back down now, we game ready. Jimmy Limit, how Vicar grew. Gonna go back like you never knew. Southern Ninja and the speck of freckles. Funky going down. But hey, dabba dip dip dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dap dip da hey. Heaven's calling and my big pet peeve. Gonna hang out with Veteran Steve. Dabba dip dip dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dap dip da hey. Being rude to the colors doesn't fly. Gonna hang out with my lady green eyes. Dabba dip dip dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dap dip da hey. Flawless by Christ, give you some tips. Gonna go hang out with Busher, Anna Peck, and Becky Phipps. Dabba dip dip dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dap dip da hey. I don't know what you see. Hanging out with Scott from OZ. Dabba dip dip dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dap dip da hey. I don't care if you say the word, but I like Twisted Luck. Dabba dip dip dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dap dip da hey. Hey, think you got that funky love. Got that funky love. Happy to be alive. Gonna see it all the way. No. Dabba dip dip dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dap dip da hey. Dabba dip dap dip dap 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 da hey. Flawless by Christ, Alice God. Gonna bring it right back with the West and back. Going back down with this Virgo now. Now you put your finger out. You owe me a big old pop. Got to go hang out with a friend named Mary Shaw. I see you too, Kelly SG1. Here is how you do the Foogle funk. You bring it back. girl, I hope you feel better. And now you need get some rest and some elderberry. Nerd of the North, thank you so much for being here. Make sure to check out Nerd of the North. I just wanna see the way they do it now. You know that we've just got to see it now. Great, Captain Scott, K-Joy Tra. I just want Stormy 7572 and now. A Baron Torix, Baron Porix, I'm about to pour it. I want the happy to be alive, but I don't know how. I just want to see back around and now you know it now. I just like it. I just like it. I just wish I could. I want the simulation 7 and the 7572. Alice Kite, oh I love you so too. It's a Marvin from time and now we do exactly through. I just don't wanna see it. Hello, Mr. Vic Groom. I like the way that we be going with the red kryptonite that grew with the blender turner all night. J-Bird 42 doing what she do, and we've got the bottle rose looking up too. Jules 44, never knowing more. Johnny doing Rusty Bumper and everyone. Hey, Cop 7 Ben, thank you for being a good friend. I never see ya. A Killjoy, a Junior, I'll bring it to ya. Sounds like an Oompa, a Oompa Loompa tuna. I'll bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it. Gonna say it, better run and do it, sing it. I love the way that a Marfoogle family stays here after everyone is done and all the way home. I love you so much, and if I could, I would take you home. 'Cause I love you so much that I would be doing now. Just so you know. Just so you know. I just want to make sure you know. We're about to host somebody. So make sure to be nice. If they say something that offends you, just please tune out. It's something they do over here on D-Live, is we host each other and host independent, unique people.
I do not control what they say. It may be on my channel. Please explain it to anyone coming in if they don't understand. Thank you very much. And please don't get offended. Thank you. Let's